For the first time in 5 years, it's Monday Night Football time in the great jazz capital of the world, the colorful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And somehow in this graceful old southern town, they managed to combine the old and the new, give you a sense of the contemporary, and even sometimes the strange. But for tonight, a high tension in the town, because right in here, in the Louisiana Superdome, the Saints, only a half game behind the Rams in the NFC West, need a victory to gain a tie, and for the first time, maybe make the playoffs in the NFL. They play the Raiders tonight. Who are the Saints? Let's look at the men who lead them. Number 42 is Chuck Munson, a man of enormous ability out of California, the man who can run, who can catch, who can block, who can throw the option pass. And they are also led by the quarterback, Archie Manning, who now has one of the most gifted receivers in football to throw to, Wes Chandler. Others leading the pack, Tony Galbraith, Ike Harris, and Henry Child. So tonight, Monday Night Football, New Orleans against Oakland.
20 seconds to air. Stand by, all cameras.
1 and 2 ready.
Stand by, open your mics on the field.
Standing.
Ready, stand by. Slow-mo.
Slow-mo's ready.
3, 2, 1. Take tape.
We are live from the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Oakland Raiders against the New Orleans Saints. This ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Datsun, who invites you to test drive the all-new 200 SX Sport Coupe. It'll drive you like you've never been driven at your Datsun dealer now. And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. We are panning the Superdome to show you the excitement that prevails here tonight. A sellout crowd, 71,000 plus. The New Orleans Saints, with their best season ever of a year ago, 7-9. Well, they have matched that win record already here in 1979. They could go to the playoffs. The New Orleans Saints off on their best year in their 12-year history. Again, a capacity crowd and one of the legends, a living legend here in New Orleans for the national anthem, Al Hirt. Almost synonymous with Bourbon Street here in New Orleans. The game coming up for the New Orleans Saints. Much excitement. They need a win tonight to tie the Rams in the Western Division of the NFC. They have high hopes that they can, for the first time ever, Howard, go to the playoffs.
Well, Frank, Kenny Stabler, the bearded leader of the Oakland Raiders, hit this great southern city and said, we recognize the Saints' weapons. The key to this game for us is ball control, meaning by that, keeping possession of the ball more time in the game than the opposition. And by that, he means further much more time. Whether or not they can do it will depend to a great degree on their own defense. Danderoo?
Well, I think so, Howard. I think when you look at what he has to work with, they've inserted Arthur Whittington into the lineup tonight to get a little speed to go along with Mark Van Egan. The Saints have the worst record in the league in defending against the run, 4.8 yards. So we can see the two tight end system more than likely with Casper and Chester. And he looked like he could run some tonight. What can I tell you?
Dick Nolan looking on. The New Orleans Saints have won the toss. They'll receive. They pulled all the stops out. They have dropped a great athlete into the end zone to receive the kick of Oakland's Jim Breach. Wes Chandler, number 89. There he is. Wide receiver. He's not been running kickoffs back this year. Everything is out tonight. This is Chandler from the 13-yard line. And Oakland hustles down. Chandler is down at the 23-yard line. And let's meet the offensive unit. Some call him Huckleberry Finn. Archie Manning, named by many of the polls as the player of the year a year ago in the NFC. Chuck Muncie, Tony Graubuth, you've heard of them. An offensive line that's had to be adjusted over the year. Conrad Dober, 66, you've heard of him. He likes the attention, but he's a fine guard. The wide receivers are Ike Harris, Wes Chandler, you saw on the kickoff. He can do it all. He can go deep. He works well underneath, does Wes Chandler. And this man, Archie Manning, can get the football to him. Quick note on the tight end, Henry Childs, one of the finest tight end receivers in the league today. On first down, handoff inside, and it's Chuck Muncie. He finds an opening, and Muncie is out over the 35. First down. Mike Davis had to make the save defensively for the Oakland Raiders, and let's meet them. They've had to adjust dramatically because of injuries over the year. Dave Browning, best that trio. Ted Hendricks, you know about him. He's always around the football. And defensively, in the secondary, Jack Tatum roams at the free safety, number 32. The cornerbacks, Lester Hayes, 37, and Henry Williams, a rookie from San Diego State, number 45, at the right cornerback position. The ball out over the 35, just inside the 37, first and 10. Muncie and Galbraith, what a running pair they are. Muncie, 42, and he has the football, following Galbraith. He does a lot of things like that as he moves out over the 40 to the 43. It's a gain of 6. It'll be second and 4.
Oakland has not been an effective team on artificial turf. According to Al Davis, their big problem will not be ball control, as Stabler says, but will be tackling, because on this turf, Muncie and Galbraith are very, very difficult to bring down. They have a habit of slipping away for extra yardage, Don.
Good point.
Oakland, the second leading offense in the National Football Conference. They're fourth in the conference. Rushing, third passing. Second down, 4. Manning, hands off. Tony Galbraith, who's met there very quickly. Defensively by Rod Martin, the right linebacker for the Oakland Raiders. And again, Oakland will shuffle people in and out considerably. They open with the 3-4 on first and 10. They'll bring in Reggie Kinlaw, a rookie from Oklahoma, when they want to go to a 4-3. They'll bring in number 90, Willie Jones, when they want the pass rush, the rookie from Florida State. No gain, third down, long 3. The ball just over the 43-yard line. Ike Harris split to the right. Manning drops the football. There's a wild scramble. Hendricks was there first, and it could be Villapiano.
Could be, but they may have gotten in there, New Orleans, to reach.
And New Orleans gets it back. Bottom of the pile is Pear. New Orleans comes up with it. John Hill, the center. And that will bring out Rick Partridge. Here is Rick Partridge. Came up earlier this year with Green Bay. Was cut, fortunately, when Russell Erxleben, the number 1 draft pick of the New Orleans Saints, was injured during preseason training camp. Rick Partridge was available. Ira Matthews is deep for Oakland. Beautiful punt by Partridge. Matthews all the way back to his 13-yard line. And he gets it back out to the 22, a 47-yard punt by Rick Partridge. So Oakland will have their first possession of the night, and they'll begin from the 22-yard line. We'll be back in the Superdome in just a moment. A very calm, relaxed Kenny Stabler. came off what many considered a bad year a year ago, and you saw a quick look at his stats. We'll develop that further as we take a look at the entire offense. Stabler, the quarterback, of course. Arthur Whittington, second-year man out of SMU, one setback, number 22, along with Mark Van Egan. Van Egan looking for a possible fourth consecutive 1,000-yard season at fullback. Wide receiver change, that's Rich Martini, number 89. There he is in motion. Van Egan gets the call, and he is nailed at the line of scrimmage. Defensively, Don Reese for the New Orleans Saints. And look at the offensive line. Art Shell, well, they say he's about 275. He looks like more like 300, but he is effective over the left side, as is Gene Upshaw. They're the key to the Oakland offensive line, along with Dave Dalby. Wide receiver, we've told you, is Rich Martini replacing Cliff Branch tonight. The two tight end offense for Oakland is in there. Casper, 87, Raymond Chester, number 88. 93 receptions this season between them. Stabler on 2nd and 10. Has the time over the middle, and it's complete. Van Egan, and Van Egan out to the 30-yard line, short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Ken Bordelon was there, and let's take a look at the 4-3 of head coach Dick Nolan. He surprised everyone a little bit because he is definitely a 4-3 fan, having been trained under Tom Landry. He went to a 3-4 last week. Those are the linebackers, and there are the defensive secondaries. Tom Myers with 6 interceptions at free safety for New Orleans. 3rd down 2 for the Oakland Raiders. Hand off, Van Egan. He has the first down. Out over the 32-yard line, close to the 33. And it may be close enough for a measurement. We don't think so. Derlin Moore defensively there for New Orleans. Mark Van Egan. He doesn't get you the long gainer, but he doesn't fumble the football. And he always shows up to play. There's a big fan of Don Meredith. According to the local papers, he really admires Don singing.
I can't understand why he'd say that. He said I was out of tune.
Well, we're in control now. On 1st and 10, Arthur Whittington. And Whittington over the 35, out to the 37-yard line, a gain of about 5. Giving 4, it'll be 2nd down 6. Elois Grooms on the stop defensively for the New Orleans Saints.
The stat I mentioned at the top of the show, Frank, about the Saints being the weakest team against the run. Dick Nolan thinks that's a misleading stat because he said almost every game somebody has broken 1 for him on a long gainer. He said this consistently. His team is doing really well. He likes the way they're adjusting to the flex defense. They've only played it a little over a year.
2 great tight ends in the offense of the Oakland Raiders on 2nd down and 6. Sabler finds Whittington all alone. No one picked him up. He has the first down out over the 45 to the 47-yard line.
I really don't understand that absence of defense then. Nobody reading the play.
But yeah, somebody missed it, I'm sure. However, the thing that always impresses me, you see Kenny coming back. That little quick look that he had first, he said, wait a minute, somebody missed over here with Whittington. He knows that somebody's going to be out there. 2 ways to pick it up, just to see Whittington open by himself, or to look downfield and see a linebacker that's where he's not supposed to be.
That's a great pro. He looked down the field. He knew Whittington had to be open. He was not the intended receiver. 1st and 10. The ball at Oakland's 47-yard line. Van Egan over midfield. Down inside the 49-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Oakland offensively ripping New Orleans line.
Going back to our beginning storyline, to use the Bible, the book of Genesis, in the beginning.
Yes.
Stabler is doing exactly what he said he wanted to do and must do, at least in the first 5 minutes of this ball game. Ball control.
Nearly midway through the first quarter. No score if you joined us late. Oakland with the football. Complete Casper, first down inside the 40 and down close to the 38-yard line. Dave Casper with his 43rd reception of the season when he didn't catch a pass until the 5th game of the year.
Nobody came but the 4 defensive linemen. Did a good job of picking them up. Casper came well, had some time to work. Kenny had a little time to look at different places that time. Actually, the 2 tight end situation is not a bad passing offense at all, particularly when you have this type of personnel on your side. You got Casper on one side and Chester on the other. Both of them can go deep.
When he gets down next to Art Shell, you hardly see Casper. On the first down, Stabler to the air. Casper complete.
That's just
Out
like
of the 32-yard line. It's a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
He really works on this simple turnout. Why don't you take this, Don?
Now, Howard, all he's really doing, he's just picking them apart. That's like you throwing those past skeleton drills on Tuesday. There's nobody out there close.
Well, you used the right phrase. He picks them apart like a surgeon. Unquestionably, one of the most accurate passers within memory in professional football. When he's right. When he's wrong, he'll throw 5 intercepts against a team like the Jets and unaccountably lose.
He's 4 for 4, is Ken Stabler, for 35 yards. Oakland on the move. Van Egan gets a call and bulldozes his way close to another Oakland first down at the 28.
Well, he seems to be picking on that left side. I don't know whether it's just out of habit because we've mentioned so many times they like to run over that way. But that might be when you try to follow Big Art Shell's a pretty good place to go. Their pass rusher primarily for the Saints has been Louis Grooms most of the year. He leads the team in sacks. But I think this Don Reese, when Reese came in, Howard, he added a little bit of maturity to this Saint defense that they needed. Nolan's really pleased with the way he fit in here with their organization and seems to kind of lift the players up around him.
They were able to come back with Derlin Moore also tonight, Don. He has been suffering with a sore ankle. He is in there, a defensive tackle. And you saw how much is required for the first down with 7:56 remaining here in the first quarter.
Notice the way, Don, Kenny is mixing the run with the relatively short pass.
You'd think he's probably done this before, wouldn't he?
All his life.
Yeah.
Both teams 7 and 6. Oakland, however, well, they have a mathematical shot. That's about it. New Orleans very much alive. A win tonight, they tie the Rams for the lead in their division. This is Van Egan. Van Egan gets the first down to the 25-yard line. Fetterspiel, the linebacker in there defensively for New Orleans. And Oakland giving the New Orleans defense a textbook lesson in offense.
We're down to 7:20 left in the first quarter and counting. And look at the way Oakland is exercising ball control.
1st and 10. The 2 tight ends remain. Martini split to the right. It's Martini out of the University of California, Davis. Stabler with all the time in the world, and he'll eat you alive if you give him that time to throw the ball. Complete to Raymond Tester. He's down to the 13-yard line.
I don't think I've seen this many receivers that wide open in a game all year, man. They're not close.
Well, there's no secret that Davis considers them, the Saints, vulnerable in the secondary.
It seems to me that they're getting a little confused with that linebacker drops. They're either going back too deep.
Frank mentioned their top man, one of the boys from Syracuse, Tommy Myers, an 8-year man who's consistently been a stick-out ball player. But after that, there is weakness.
Stabler puts Martini to the left. He hands off to Whittington. He follows Van Egan. And Whittington down to the 6-yard line. Tom Myers made the stop there. Short of a first down. Gain of 7. Give him 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Here's a good shot of the blocking over. We talk about Art Shell, number 78. Gene Upshaw, 63. Look at Gene come out. That's Barleone, good linebacker. Right off of that block, Sylvester comes on the inside. You really, once again, that's the way you draw it up on the blackboard. Say, now, guys, can you do this? So he can play right off the block.
Well, it's an old saw that they love to run left.
Flex defense of the New Orleans Saints. Technically, it is an awfully good defense. Sometimes you need a lot better people than we were watching tonight. Van Egan corralled there, but he moves inside. Close to another first down to the 4-yard line. Barry Bennett at the bottom of that pile.
Bennett was there. This linebacker I mentioned earlier, Frank, out of LSU, 3rd-year guy. Ken Barleone is the guy that really, the coaching staff thinks he's just terrific as far as his overall physical talent. He's a med student, I think, and he very bright young man. They think he has a good possibility maybe someday to move into the middle where Joe Fetterspiel.
That's a pretty tough guy to replace, Dandy.
Yeah, he's the leading tackler. Fetterspiel is there. Just Barleone is a young kid that I think they're looking to down the line somewhere. They really think they've got something going here in New Orleans, and they're really pleased with the young talent they have. They've only got 22 players on the squad that they got via the draft. Most of them have been either for trades or pick-up free agent sort of guys, so they're trying to get the draft system to work for them.
First and goal. The ball at the 4. Oakland 13 plays. Booker Russell comes in. Doesn't carry the ball that often. He often gets the call down near the goal line. Gary Jensen is also in there, number 31, but the ball goes to Russell. Russell struggles close to the 2-yard line and driven back. Fettersfield in there with help from friends.
There's a reason why Booker Russell is put in close to the goal line. Notice the average 6.3 yards. That comes substantially from a run just before the first half ended in the recent game against Denver, won by Oakland. He busted it for 72 yards, but he had an over 100-yard day with relatively few carries. But he is very tough to stop near that goal line. He smells it.
2nd and goal. Stabler. A lot of time. Can't find a receiver. And he finds Chester.
He did.
Touchdown.
Now that's slick, isn't it?
And when he can look all over the field like that, you know there is no pass rush pressure at all.
Let's see. I think he really was trying to throw over to the other side. He's trying to hit. Yeah, he's, wait a minute. Where did everybody go? He turns around. That's what I think he does really well, Howard. When he's really on, he can throw the ball. It just looks so pretty. That thing never ripples at all. Chester's coming out, trying to open up the secondary. I would say more than likely he was not the intended receiver.
Don't you love the way he runs around as we watch the conversion attempt, waiting for Kenny to find him?
Yeah.
Jim Breach for the conversion as Oakland puts the score on the board first. And flags are down. There was contact made. Oakland used 7 minutes and 55 seconds in that drive.
And they did most everything. They did the little runs off the left. They had a quick little trap up the right.
Well,
backs.
When Kenny said ball control, and there you look at the Oakland leader, when he said ball control, he meant exactly that. Yes, he'd throw the pass, but he'd throw the short stuff. And yes, he'd use the run.
And he's got a lot of folks here tonight. But Archie Manning called from L.A. He said, that's not Los Angeles, that's Lower Alabama. And they've all come over. I felt so sorry for this guy we're getting. You got to take a look at right now. And
Kansas City.
The field goal that he missed, that was, oh, boy, you hate to see anybody have that.
Would have tied the game up. They could have gone to overtime. He missed from this distance. But he does not miss on this conversion attempt, and the Oakland Raiders are on top 7-0. 4 minutes and 33 seconds remaining from a jam-packed Superdome in New Orleans. We'll be back. A report on the World Gymnastics Championships, the team competition, wide world of sports. Set to kick off now. Jim Breach is in there. We have become accustomed to Ray Guy, but we see Jim Breach. Deep is Wes Chandler, and he respects Breach's distance. He's in the end zone. Breach hangs it up. And this will be Wayne Wilson, rookie from Shepherd College. And Wilson out to the 20-yard line, where the New Orleans offense, which has had a lot of time to think it over, comes back onto the field.
With only 4:25 left in the first quarter. And now the other side of the coin in the storyline. Al Davis says, let Kenny keep the ball as long as he can. But it's not going to help us unless we score and stop them from scoring. And they can score with their weapons in 2 minutes.
They're tough. This is stats from a week ago.
They finally broke the Atlanta jinx. That's what they had called it on 1st and 10. The quick toss, Chuck Muncie. Muncie showing the agility as a flag goes down. The agility of a man who weighs about 235 down the sidelines. They mark it out close to the 30-yard line, but again, a flag is down. I believe it's going to go against New Orleans. Our referee tonight we'll be hearing from, hopefully seldom, is Bob Frederick. Clipping indicated against the New Orleans Saints.
Well, they've had really, I would say the drive would stop by the fumble, although that. All right, we've got to look at that clip. That's Monty Johnson out there. And zap, big number J.T. Taylor, who's been hampered a little bit with injuries this year, was the guy guilty of the clip. New Orleans is extremely powerful offensive team. A couple of stats that I think are extremely important is that their average, they lead the league in yards per.
Number 71 of the offense. First down.
They're the big two tight ends from the Oakland group, Casper and Chester. Oh, that's a good pair. Like to draw to those most every time.
Really is.
1st and 20. Wes Chandler split to the left by Archie Manning, who calls his own plays. Mike Harris, top of your screen. Manning, he has a lot of time. Dumps it out to Tony Galbraith. And Galbraith gets half of it back to the original line of scrimmage out over the 20. Galbraith, a very fine receiver for the Saints, just an all-around gifted athlete.
That is the point. You will see Manning turning to that more and more, especially if New Orleans gets into graver difficulty. Galbraith is a truly exceptional receiver. Great hands and has a way of chewing up yardage once he gets the football. Dick Nolan, the coach.
Nolan took over when Hank Stram was fired a year ago, took the Saints to their best record ever, 7-9. He's matched that in wins already this season. Trying to get to the playoffs for the first time in the history of the franchise. Reading the blitz. Manning hangs it up for Wes Chandler. A flag is down. Defensively, it was Lester Hayes.
Well, they'll probably call that as a face guarding sort of pass interference.
I guess so.
But they may be on the offense. Let's see what he said. Now, defensive pass interference.
Defensive pass interference, number 37, first down.
I'll tell you, let's look at it again. Lester Hayes has been playing superb football. He knows he's got to stay close. He knows the blitz was on. You saw the foul. The first down is out to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, Lester got him that time. He did. You've got to give him a right to go up there and catch that ball.
Hey, right now, there are a few defensive backs playing as well as Lester Hayes, leading the club with 6 interceptions. And Oakland is not getting all that much of a pass rush, and that's a lot of interceptions when you don't have a rush. Muncy turns a corner, and the big man powders out to midfield, ran right through Henry Williams, and you better believe number 45, Henry Williams, felt the jolt in the jar as Muncy picks up a quick 8.
Let's look at the New Orleans mascot, as if in tribute to Chuck Muncy.
Looks like Sir Charles.
There is almost no limit to Muncy's ability. His problem, quite frankly, how about them Saints, Howard? I have nothing against the Saints. Some local DJ raised a furor trying to make a name for himself.
Second down, 2. Muncy reads it well, runs right into the arms of Dave Pear, short of the first down, inside the 49. He had to get to the 48. It'll be 3rd and short.
I was about to say, Frank, as you well know, that Muncy's only problem has been an apparent disinclination to play the way he can play on certain days. When he goes all out, with his ability to throw the option pass and to catch the pass downfield, he becomes in some ways a better all-around back even than the mighty Earl Campbell.
Had a good year. Muncy heading for a 1,000-yard season, close to 950 yards as of now. 3rd in a yard. Galbraith gets the call. Close to the first down. I believe he has it.
They've been using both backs as far as balance extremely well. Each of them have been handling the ball about the same. Galbraith 28 times a game, and Muncy 27. And that is the kind of balance that he didn't pick up that first down. I wouldn't be. He's going to go for it, and I don't really blame him. They can't really. I don't think they can play as conservative as they might under a Dick Nolan organization, say at the beginning of the season. He knows that he has to win this game, and there's a first down, so they did make it.
Very interested observers tonight of the Los Angeles Rams, who yesterday defeated Minnesota. As you look at the graphics on this 2 running back pair, they defeated Minnesota in overtime yesterday. And, of course, the win tonight by New Orleans would move them back into a tie. The Rams and the New Orleans Saints will meet on the final Sunday of the season in Los Angeles.
That was a very interesting graphic. I'll get to it in a moment.
1st and 10. 47-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. The Raiders on top, 7-0.
Wow.
Right on the line. That is complete. Goes out to Ike Harris.
Was that on
First
the money?
down, inside the 35-yard line.
He zipped that one right on the money. Ike Harris turned around, and the ball was there. Howard mentioned that somebody mentioned how this guy can throw the ball when he's right, and man, there again, he is right. That was not bad defensive coverage. It was just a good throw, and Harris was right there. First down.
Oddly enough, the attack goes against Lester Hayes on the left side. He perhaps the best defensive back on the field at the moment, while a rookie, Henry Williams, is on the right side. 1st and 10, New Orleans inside the 35 at the 34-yard line of Oakland. Draw play.
Oh, good move.
Muncy, big hole.
Good move.
Muncy collected there and dropped by number 72, John Matuzak, and not until Muncy had moved down to the 25-yard line, close to another first down.
There's a good move here by Muncy. You'll see he takes it on a quick little drop, comes right back in. There's Bill Piano upside in the 841. That little sidestep there, that's really super. They asked him to put on about 10 more pounds this year, and he's playing at about 235. He and Galbraith, I saw yesterday, those guys really are big.
36 yards on the night for Muncy as he is heading for a 1,000-yard season. Perhaps we'll get it tonight. And Muncy,
Lost his head.
gets the first down around the 21-yard line as you see the final seconds expiring here in the first quarter. And New Orleans have taken the page from the Oakland Raiders. They are exercising their own ball control. End of the first quarter. Oakland on top, 7-0. We'll be back. Number 1 draft pick in 76, Chuck Muncy, has just collected 3,000 yards on his career. He came up in 76. He needs 40 tonight for a 1,000-yard season. First and 10, New Orleans. The ball inside the 22-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Mike Harris split to the right. This drive began at the 21-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. Muncy with Galbraith out front.
Good move there. Oh, man.
Boy, Muncy ran right through Willie Jones, gave him a little move. I bet Jones cannot believe that a man that big has those kind of moves and that kind of speed. Watch number 90 play with the air.
You're going to see, or maybe not see, a good block by Galbraith out there just to get him off balance. There he goes through. That's a little dip out you were talking about, Frank, and that's that acceleration. And he's playing at 235 pounds. The baby bull backfield is right there.
Well, that's what Scram was after when he coached there, and he drafted Muncy and Galbraith. But there's a predecessor to that when Allie Sherman was coaching the Giants. He wanted this kind of talent. He had Thurlow, Mercine, and Fredrickson. Only Tucker had it while healthy.
First and goal. Muncy gets the call again, keeps his feet, gets to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal up into there by Mike Davis. And Muncy putting on quite a show here tonight for a sold-out crowd at the Superdome, over 71,000.
Frank, that was a crucial down, I think, just based on the fact that they don't have the opportunity to make a first down before they score. They're on the 9-yard line, and that's, as we've said many times, a very tough. Those are the toughest yardage. But to pick up 5 or at least a good 4 on that one, they got a chance to move it in. I don't think they'll go for a field goal.
Second and goal. Muncy and Galbraith. Muncy again gets the call. Turns inside and just uses brute strength, pulling down to the 2-yard line where it'll be third and goal.
Those are the yards that it only goes on the statistical chart as a couple of yard gain. But all of us know that it really means an awful lot more down there. When you see a guy that's that big, that strong, that can carry somebody for a couple of yards, you're going to score points when ordinarily other teams won't.
Had a good look at a former teammate of mine, Dick Nolan, 8 years, head coach at San Francisco, trained and played under Tom Landry, believes in the 4-3 flex, believes in his principles.
I believe.
Third down, quick toss, Galbraith. He bowls in, touchdown New Orleans.
I tell you, he deserves credit for that one. He really forced his own way.
He did. He had J.T. Taylor out there in front of him. As you see a shot of the crowd, they're going wild.
Tony Galbraith himself is a 230-pounder, and you saw it in action right then.
The pom-poms much in evidence. Look at it again.
Look at J.T. Taylor trying to get out there. Galbraith says, I can't wait on you, fella. I got to go.
That's exactly what happened. He passed his would-be blocker and forced his way in.
Garo Yepremian. Again, he has been a lifesaver. Released by Miami, and they kept Uwe von Schaumann. Russell Erxleben went down, and Garo Yepremian came in, and he ties it up at 7. 13:30 remaining in the first half. Good, solid, hard-played football. This crowd is roaring because they have just been informed the official score has given Chuck Muncy, it's changed it from 59 yards on the night to 60 yards. That gives him an even 1,000 for the season. Carrier Premier to kick off. Ira Matthews is number 43. Larry Brunson is number 82. Ira Matthews led the nation. Kickoff returns a year ago. This will be, however, Larry Brunson. And Larry Brunson, who plied his trade for so many years with Kansas City, out over the 30 to the 32-yard line. And let's take a look at a man who just collected his first 1,000-yard season. His best year was 2 years ago, 811 yards, but he's been a different performer, as we've talked about already this evening, this year.
A most happy fellow. Remember, that's officially 60 yards. Ignore the graphic. And Brunson in that kick run almost was stripped of the football. Carried it a little bit dangerously.
Yeah, Brunson and Matthews both are very good. They lead the league in kickoff returns. And you've got to look for the guys that bring it back for that responsibility.
So New Orleans used a little over 6 minutes on the clock in their touchdown. Stabler, Whittington. And Whittington over the 35 to the 37. Give him 6. It'll be 2nd and 4, upended by Pat Hughes, a former Giant, a very heady linebacker for the New Orleans Saints.
Stabler now 7 for 7. A little deceiving. And that's why percentage of completions can be such a deceiving statistic as you look at Archie Manning, the opposition quarterback, because Kenny's throwing the short, cheap stuff, and this defense of New Orleans is prone to give it.
2nd down, 4. Handoff. Whittington, big hole. Whittington, 1st down and more, out over the 45. Stopped there by Eloise Grooms defensively.
Dave Dalby did a good job on Fetterspiel that time. Came out from his offensive center position. Fetterspiel, the middle linebacker. See a shot at him. They get the defensive signals from the sideline.
We get a chance, our creative director, Mr. Forty, will perhaps give us a shot of Art Whittington's leg where he has it totally smeared with what we call stick 'em.
Stick 'em, stick 'em.
You see the quarterback and center often call for a change of ball. Well, we'll give you a shot of that in a little bit, show you why. But it really gums up a football. Here's Whittington with a good move. And Whittington close to midfield. Gain of 4, 2nd down, 6. Clarence Chapman up there for the stop. See that stuff on his right ankle? That is just like pine tar. He gets on the football. Receivers, ball carriers like to wear it. And the quarterbacks hate it. And so does the center.
He's a good one, Frank, out of SMU, and he set a Oakland Raider rushing record for a rookie. Came in last year, 600 and some odd yards, 61 yards. A good shot. It's more stick 'em.
2nd down, long 6. The ball inside the 49-yard line. Stabler. Both quarterbacks with all the time in the world tonight. Whittington. Incomplete. Hit there by Chapman.
That's it. The Chapman report.
Chapman, along with the other cornerback of the New Orleans Saints, were missing for the first 3 games of the season. There's been a different defense with him back.
Really has. Tom Myers was the only guy that was in there on a full-time basis. That's just a good hit. Whittington had the ball. Had he not been hit, it would have been on the
Should have held it. Now they have a difficult 3rd down situation.
3rd and 6. Crowd chanting. Defense. Stabler to Casper. Incomplete, intercepted.
Uh-oh, he's gone.
Eric Felton. He could take it a long way. Felton. Taken by Dave Casper, but not until the ball that was deflected and returned by Felton was moved to the 19-yard line. And somebody really put a shot on Casper downfield. You saw it, and he was the man who made the save down at the 19.
Once again, Frank Kenny's got plenty of time to throw. You see Casper coming over the other side. He just couldn't. Whoa, he sure did get hit.
Ray Brown hit him.
Ray Brown.
Now watch, Casper will get on his feet down and run Felton down.
Eric Felton out of Texas Tech. Ray Brown out of West Texas Tech, West Texas State. Came out. Oh, Eric is just so happy to be here. He says, golly.
Well, the crowd now becomes a big part of this story because they're acting as if this is indeed the Super Bowl game.
They are really fired up. The New Orleans Saints, of course, with a win tonight, will tie the Rams. They play San Diego here next week. then the final game of the season, they will meet the Rams, whom they lost to earlier in the season. Chandler split to the right. Tony Galbraith. And Galbraith, like Muncie, breaking tackles. He could have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. He was not. He gains 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Eric Felton, Texas Tech boy.
Rookie.
53-yard return for Felton.
They have a basketball goal out at the Saints practice field, and Eric yesterday, well, he's listed as 6 foot, but he's pushing it. He's 6 foot tall, but he was so easy to just step up there and dunk that ball. Great acceleration, spring in his legs.
2nd down. Archie Manning calling his own plays, looking over the defense, is constantly adjusting. He hangs it up for Chandler. Oh, he had to come down with both feet. He did not. He had to come down with both feet inbounds. He did not. Incomplete.
I'm sure he's right. It just looks from this angle that he did bounce down in there. We'll see it. Design play. Now, what is the... Hey, wait a minute, fella.
Well, if you look at it again, I think you'll see one leg in, and then he lands on the back.
All right, all he's got to have is those... He catches the ball in. He's got to have both feet come in. There's 1, 2. There's 1, 2. That's in.
Well, we'll hear more of a hue and cry for officiating through videotape, which would be absolutely chaotic as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you're right, but the guy that called it, Frank, was on the outside of him, out of bounds, and he couldn't see where his feet were.
Back to the action, 3rd down and 8. Manning wide open over the middle.
Oh!
We told you Galbraith was a receiver. Tony Galbraith.
A truly great catch. On the graphic we showed you earlier, I said there was a point I wanted to make. Galbraith had 214 receptions. That's his 215. Chuck Muncie had 108. This is why we talked about Galbraith's ability as a receiver. It is super.
That is unbelievable. He even turned in the air and reached back with the right hand and got it. Not bad coverage that time by Monty Johnson.
Yepremian on for the conversion. Super effort by Tone Galbraith. Had 45 receptions coming into tonight. They use him like a tight end. And New Orleans, much to the happiness of this jam-packed crowd, has moved out on top. We'll look again.
Well, I just want to sit back and watch it. The ball was, actually, I thought it was going to be overthrown, and it would have been most of the time.
Hard to cover. Monty Johnson's job, a very difficult one, covering a very speedy Galbraith coming out of that backfield on that tight circle. Almost impossible. 45 receptions, only 1 touchdown. And if you think those stats are good, last year he caught 74.
That average per catch is good, too. They lead the league in that average yards gained per pass attempt.
Yepremian hits it. Ira Matthews. Flag is down as Matthews goes down at the 30-yard line. Ira Matthews.
This will be against Oakland.
Yeah, I think it was, they were clipping number 84.
Illegal use of hands against Oakland.
84 is Rich Mouty. He usually figures in there pretty good.
Yeah, they love Mouty here.
So Oakland suddenly in a bind. 1 turnover on
Illegal
Stabler.
use of the hands on the kick return team, number 56. 1st down.
Jeff Barnes. Illegal use of hands. Oakland Raiders.
1 turnover by Stabler. 1 mistake. Overthrowing Casper. Felton picking it off. Giving New Orleans field position. Manning quickly striking with the brilliant help of Galbraith on the receiving end, and now Oakland in terrible field position.
At their own 16-yard line, Whittington gets the call. Whittington loses perhaps a yard as Fetterspiel, a rough, tough middle linebacker, has been around for a while. He'll hit you as hard as anyone in the league.
He made a good recognition that time, Frank, on Fetterspiel's part, because he came from that middle linebacker position, read the off-tackle thing in a hurry, got in there, actually hit him behind the line of scrimmage.
We have two critical games coming up. Pittsburgh at 11-3 against Houston at 10-4 next Monday. And then Denver at 10-4 now against San Diego at 10-4 now. The winner of that game will win.
2nd and 11. Stabler trying to get it into a small pocket to Rich Martini and drills it into the ground, incomplete. 3rd and 11.
The winner of the Denver-San Diego game will, as I was saying, be the winner of the AFC West. In the meantime, Oakland in very, very difficult position. You see the graphic on Fetterspiel. We have talked about him.
Missed one game in 7.5 years. That's pretty good durability mark there.
Gene Upshaw of the Raiders hasn't missed a game since joining the Raiders back in '67.
This is Mike Foltz. He's coming out of the ball game, holding his left arm. For Stabler, as he considers a 3rd and 11, he completed his first 7 on the night. Since then, he's had 1 interception and 2 incompletions.
And as so often happens in this flow of a game, once New Orleans got the break on the turnover, got the field position, scored, they seem a different team on defense.
Well, that first drive by Oakland, you couldn't draw it up any better. They just did it all just exactly the way you want to.
The prices may have changed, the crowds may have grown, the stadia become different, but emotion still plays a key role in football. 3rd and 11.
Oh, they got the setup.
Van Egan. Van Egan balls out to the 25. He'll be short of a first down, and Oakland will have to punt.
And we are beginning to see some new twists in the league in recent games.
Flag is down over there, isn't it?
There is a flag down. Could have been a late hit.
Yep, by 37.
Myers, if it's 37.
That's right.
He's the one they say plays that safety like a linebacker. He's not that big, but he'll really hit him. So will Ray Brown.
He's an exceptional player.
And a call.
No question about unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 37 of the defense on a late hit. First down.
Van Egan turning to the inside behind that screen. Taken there first by Fetterspiel. And Myers. Good call.
Well, it's a good call.
And instead of Oakland kicking from their own 30-yard line, they have a 1st and 10 at their 39-yard line. Whittington behind Van Egan. Didn't like it. Tried over there.
He really worked for that. He earned every bit of it.
4-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 6. Mike Foltz back in the lineup. Defensively will be made the stop for New Orleans.
So it used to work down at Cuero, Texas. I know that. He could run it back and forth, back and forth. There he is.
It's a briskly played football game. There has been steady offensive action.
8:35 remaining in the first half. 14-7. Saints over the Raiders. The lead by New Orleans, the end result of an interception, a turnover. Stabler.
All right.
He goes down. Don Reese was there first.
Reese could be saying something like it. I missed you the first time when I came in the front door. I had to come through the back door and get you. This is Don Reese, we mentioned earlier, acquired from Miami. Grooms has been the #1. You see pushing O'Shaw around. Missed you there. Now look out, Kenny. I'm going to come in the back door.
Well, Reese came right back at him. Excellent play. Reese and Crowder with Miami. Well, look at that.
That looks, yeah, that's a headache right there. There's no question about that. He says, what happened to me?
Lester Hayes.
The sack was back to the 37-yard line. 3rd down and 12. Cliff Branch comes into the lineup. 3 wide receivers. Brunson is in there, as a Martini. This is Branch, and Branch has a first down.
Now, that was beautiful because Branch knew exactly where he was, just far enough for the first down. And Stabler, with his pinpoint accuracy, whipped it in there.
Really is important because they needed about 12, 13 yards. You see a slow trot down to the outside. Just curl right back in behind that linebacker. There's your first down.
Branch did not start tonight. We were surprised. Rich Martini started. We asked why. They said it's a coaching decision. So Branch comes in. Big play. Gets the first down inside New Orleans territory. The ball close to the 49. And now Branch remains in the lineup. Split to the left. And still the 2 tight ends. Top of your screen, 88, 87, Chester and Casper. Going for Brad Stabler. Oh, and just overthrown by maybe a half a step. Eric felt it defensively. Stabler trying to get it all in one play.
He also knows he was close on getting it that time, too, Frank. He dropped out in a number 2 wash bucket down there, and he just missed by about a yard.
You may possibly see a repeat.
Would not be surprised on that.
Much.
Stabler with the 30 interceptions of a year ago. During the offseason, very unhappy with criticism by management that he was the cause of the Raiders' biggest problems. Come back this year, he had 17 coming in tonight. He now has 18 interceptions for the season. And
Offside.
Chester offsides. And Whittington down to the 44-yard line. That'll come back.
Oakland beginning to make mistakes, problems for themselves. That penalty in evidence, Stabler mistake another. You mentioned Kenny and his boss, Al Davis. Frank, today I said to Al, do you talk to Stabler? He said, well, he goes past me and he says, how you doing, Al? And I say, okay, Kenny.
How are you?
That's about it.
88, offense, offside, second down.
So instead of 3rd and 5, it'll be 2nd down 15.
It was Al Davis who felt that Stabler was not properly conditioned a year ago, and he felt that therefore Kenny, not at optimum efficiency, was the key to the downfall of the Raiders a year ago.
Wide receivers once again. Brunson, Martini, and Branch. Stabler throws it away. Alois Groom drops Stabler. It'll be 3rd and 15.
One of the tough things about trying to throw a screen, if you don't you got to slow them down a little bit at the line.
Grooms, the top pass rusher for the New Orleans Saints, led them for the past 2 years, 77-78. Out of Tennessee Tech.
The Raiders are going for their 15th consecutive winning season this year. They want that very badly.
It's been a remarkable record.
No, it is. But, you know, a lot of times you use this as an excuse, but they've had 34 people that have been starters this year, which gives you an indication that things are not all just set and settled out in Oakland.
3 wide receivers stay in the game. 3rd down 15. Stabler hung it out there. It was a long sideline pass. Rich Martini was open for a moment. Defensively, Chapman got back. Incomplete. 4th down. The Raiders will punt.
I thought that was a pretty gutsy move by Chapman, as a matter of fact, because if he didn't get there, there's nobody else out there. He's got him man for man. Not really a play fake, but they're all trying to hold it in there. It is a long sideline pattern. But look, if he doesn't get there, so those ifs and whatever you call it, he had a...
Well, Chapman's had 2 good plays. Remember the hit on Whittington that nullified an apparent pass catch. So the young man is worth taking a closer look at.
Great guy, 3rd in the league behind Rupp of Kansas City and Jennings of New York. And this is a man they love here in New Orleans. He does everything on their special teams. Rich Marty. Casper. Unusually low kick, not a good kick, and Marty has a chance to run it out to the 33-yard line. 34-yard attempt by Ray Guy. Hustling down there for Oakland, Derek Ramsey. We have 6:39 remaining in the first half. New Orleans 14, the Raiders 7. We'll be back.
Also Saturday, World Cup boxing, and you'll see the young Americans under the brilliant coaching of Pat Nappy, named our Olympic coach again. He was in Montreal, who figure to be as good or almost as good as the remarkable boxing team at Montreal. Frank?
1st and 10, 32-yard line. New Orleans has the football. Mike Harris in motion. Inside handoff, Muncie. And Muncie out close to another New Orleans first down. I believe he has it. Out around the 43-yard line.
I think they caught the Raider defense that time in a slight mix-up. They saw the man go in motion, tried to make a slight adjustment. Either Hendricks or Johnson, not for sure which, moved to the inside. They came back to the outside. I know that man. I saw him last night down on Bourbon Street.
I think Chuck was waiting for Monday Night Football.
I think they've all been excited about it. I really do.
Having a night.
Ball just inside the 43. 1st and 10 New Orleans. Ike Harris put out to the right by Archie Manning. Out to the left, top of your screen. Brilliant receiver, Wes Chandler. And New Orleans offside.
He says, now, I know there was a snap count, but it seems to me I forgot what it was.
Henry Childs.
Tied in.
5 offense.
A lot of tension for these young New Orleans Saints. Again, the best season they ever put together in 12 years was last year at 7-9. They have never been 500. Here they are with an opportunity to get into the playoffs. Archie Manning, who suffered through a lot of injuries in his career, having another super season, passing at 60%, 12 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. He's came into tonight having thrown the ball 94 times without an interception. He's only been sacked 12 times all year, so you know they're protecting him well. And he also is very agile. He moves around well. 1st and 15. Flag is down. This is Childs. And the gifted tight end moves back to the original line of scrimmage, but again, a flag is down. Phil Villapiano defensively there against Childs.
Regardless of what the penalty is and whom it's against, you have to like the way Manning diversifies his receivers.
He does. He's got good ones. That was one of the main reasons you can diversify him. Childs has been kind of an unsung hero at the tight end position. We usually hear about the Chesters and Caspers and Russ Francis kind of guys and Billy Joe Dupree's, but Childs has been right up there at the top almost every year with number of receptions. This might be a penalty.
Eligible man downfield in the offense. 89.
89.
He must have been lined up in an illegal formation.
All right. Let's see if they might have missed this shot over here. This is Childs coming out. Yeah, they probably had other things to do.
Well, I don't believe that was a face mask.
I don't think it was a face mask.
No, it was just Villapiano saying, don't forget I'm here.
It was under the mask.
And the formation, since Wes Chandler is a wide receiver, the formation must have been wrong, or Chandler was either on the line of scrimmage or setback when he should not have been.
Well,
they're a little upset over on the New Orleans sideline, as you can see.
Ineligible man downfield. Offensively, number 85. Still 1st down.
wait a minute.
Well, then he was in the wrong formation. There must have been a man on the line of scrimmage outside of the tight end, Henry Childs.
And Manning was telling his coaches that the official misread the formation. That's exactly what he was doing. To no avail.
Ball all the way back to the 28-yard line. They must get to the 47-yard line of Oakland for a 1st down. 1st and about 25. Chandler split to the left. Out to the right is Ike Harris. Chandler in motion. Manning for Childs. Good defensive play by Monty Johnson. Incomplete.
Frank, we talked about the fact that some of these New Orleans kids are on Monday Night Football for the 1st time. And Don asked Manning directly, you've played on Monday Night Football, others haven't. Will it hurt or help?
Well, I hope it affects us in that we play real well. I know our people are real excited. Of course, this city is real excited. And, of course, the paramount thing is we're still in a playoff picture. But you people coming in for this game just kind of puts cream on it. It's a big day for the New Orleans Saints, so we hope to perform real well.
Archie Manning talking about Monday Night Football. 2nd down, 25 is his concern at the moment. Manning finds Muncy out over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Still far short of the 1st down. It'll still be 3rd and long. Monty Johnson there defensively. 3rd and about 12.
When you've got two guys like Muncy and Galbraith, there is just no estimating the number of things you can do offensively. Remember I said earlier, while Earl Campbell is indisputably the greatest single runner in football, almost indisputably, some in Chicago might argue for Peyton, he can't go downfield for a pass with anything like the speed of a Muncy.
6:13 remaining in the half. New Orleans on top of Oakland, 14-7. 3rd and 12. Manning fires quickly. And Muncy tries to one-hand it. Incomplete. He was in the arms of Jack Tatum, and New Orleans must punt as Manning felt the pressure from Oakland.
The late blitz that time by Rod Martin, the linebacker. He stayed in his position just for a moment, let him set their blocking, and he had speed enough to get back there before Manning could really get it off comfortably.
Rick Partridge will punt, and dropping deep is the rookie from Wisconsin who last year led the nation at the University of Wisconsin, averaging over 16 yards per punt return. He's not even close to it thus far this season, with a little over 5-yard average. Partridge hangs it high. Fair catch call for it. Flag is down as Partridge was pounded by Mike Davis. That will be a first down for New Orleans.
Well, he looks like he may be hurt a little bit, or he may be putting on a little bit. Either way, they got him a first down. But Partridge has really, well, when you take it, you got Partridge and your Permian. As you mentioned at the top of the show, Frank, they had their #1 draft choice.
Well, let's take a look at this and see if it was a great piece of acting. Oh, come on. Come on.
Oh, me.
That was one of your finest performances in the history of TV. That's an Emmy if I ever saw one.
He says, oh, my gosh. Now, how can you do that to me? And then he had the audacity to get up and limp off.
Well, it might have hurt when he fell.
Let's see if he's not grinning a little bit.
Oh, he took a pretty hard tumble. He certainly did it on his own.
Yes, indeed.
I'm just teasing, you know me. Just an old.
He's nominated now for an Oscar.
Yeah.
First down, 46-yard line. The New Orleans Saints, they're on top by 7. 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Screen in the middle, and it's Galbraith with running room.
Oh, me. Oh, me.
Galbraith gets another first down at the 34-yard line. Lester Hayes made the save, and Galbraith, had he been able to break the tackle of Hayes, might have gone in.
Let's watch him stay close to Robert Wood. Old Bob Wood, 65, his tackle out there. Really well set up, Frank, right in the middle. You see Woods out here in front of him. Tony says, I'm no dummy. You hit him first. Let me go around. Had Wood made a cleaner block there, I think Galbraith would have picked up 10 or 15 more yards.
He really can't scoot once he catches it, can he? What an asset.
So smooth and so fluid, Tony Galbraith. Ball at the Oakland Raider 34-yard line, 1st and 10. Draw to Muncie, huge hole. Look at that. Oh. Now that is beautiful, spectacular running by Muncie. To the 3, 1st and goal.
Mike Davis saved the touchdown, made a pretty good tackle. But, man, you're right. Is this smooth? And look at the big hole up there. They think they got him a really good center, potential all-pro center in John Hill. Muncie just goes through there. That's a good block. That was Chandler block. Davis came over and put the stop. Nice block by Chandler to screen down that far.
Saints are playing inspired football.
31-yard pickup by Chuck Muncie. 1st and goal. The ball at the 3-yard line. The tight end offense is in. Manning addressing the hometown fans for a little quiet. Muncie.
Goodbye.
They are going to mark it short of a touchdown. He did. The ball did hit short.
Oh, man.
What an acrobatic move. Phil Villapiano upended Muncie as he tried to hurdle to the end zone.
He could have hurt himself on this one. I thought he fell pretty hard on that shoulder. Galbraith is making a good attempt at a block. Did it? Fell over there. That's Davis again, isn't it? Oh, man, that's a hard way to fall.
Good call by the head linesman. 2nd and goal. Muncie. No question this time.
Straight away, let's just try to hold them down. Villapiano trying to get there. They all get there a little bit late. That might have just a nice move.
Just too much of Chuck Muncie. 6'3", 235-pounder. Garo Yepremian on for the conversion. The young Saints not at all awed by the incredible winning record of the Oakland Raiders over the years. And you think the hometown fans don't love it? We'll be back at the Superdome in a moment. 21 8-7, the Saints over the Raiders with 3:24 remaining in the first half. Garo Yefremian, who had a little fun. We were kidding earlier, but talking about our broadcasting team, he was talking about Don. He said he didn't like his tone, that he always sings that whatever that song is a little too early. Turn off the lights. He hits it. Ira Matthews for Oakland at the 7.
Look out,
Ira Matthews was going to reverse that. He knew better, and he was right. Out of bounds at the 22-yard line. Rich Maudie, who is so effective on the special team for the New Orleans Saints. And there's the man. Great record at the University of California. Over 3,000 yards rushing there before being drafted number 1. 38 touchdowns. The best ever by a University of California running back.
Just 13 rushes for 105 yards. Tremendous performance. You have to be impressed with this whole New Orleans team. Undoubtedly their best effort of the year thus far, because they're going against the team that has had the best record of all teams since Monday Night Football began.
On the first down, Stabler with the screen to Whittington.
Got some trouble out there.
Sylvester with a block in front. And Whittington is sprung to the 39-yard line. First down, Oakland.
That was beautifully set up screen pass. A little crisscross backfield to the other opposite side. They got him. The linebacker Barleone that we mentioned earlier had him isolated. He was the only guy out there. I think that was one Sylvester block.
It's quite good, Don. That man out in front of it, 66, Steve Sylvester. He has been something special for Oakland this year. He's played left tackle. He's played right guard for an injured Mickey Marvin. He's played at center when Dave Dowdy was hurt. Stabler on 1st and 10. Loses the football. A lot of Saints in the area. Is Alex Price.
It just
comes up with it for New Orleans.
Slipped out of his hand.
So this New Orleans team, totally inspired, has a chance to build up what could be an insurmountable lead.
I think you're right. He tried to pull it back down. It came back, swinging the ball, and it just slipped out of his hand. We talked about runners doing that.
Alex Price comes up with it for New Orleans.
These are very important lines. They determine how sharp your color TV picture will be. They're called lines of resolution. And the more lines, the sharper the picture. Magnavox has 25% more lines than ever before possible. That's why Magnavox has a sharper color.
Bourbon Street will be a little rowdy tonight.
That's your
It looks like it's heading in that direction. Oakland came out. They moved the football first possession for a touchdown using over 7 minutes. New Orleans answered with a touchdown drive of over 6 minutes. It's been all New Orleans ever since. They're on top 21-7. They have the ball at the 28-yard line of the Raiders at the moment, following a Stabler fumble. Manning crossing his backs. Going for Childs. Great touchdown. Henry Childs. A marvelous catch.
Oh, is Manning throwing pinpoint passes, and does he have the receivers to get them? What a performance in the first half by that quarterback.
Well, Howard, it's just amazing again. I call it a good throw, but once again, what a terrific catch. Man, that ball was right in there. Henry Childs, he's just got so much balance on offense. All the receivers, you see Childs coming off the line. They better start stopping him at the line. Again, not bad defensive coverage, but he's got speed enough just to kind of run away from him, stretch out there and take it.
And I'll tell you, once again, the defender, in this case Mike Davis, was not in bad position. That ball was thrown where it had to be thrown.
Just the way it was.
Can't you see Archie saying, "Oh, shucks, guys, it's nothing." We used to do that out in Drew, Mississippi every once in a while.
Hello, Huck.
They said he looked like Huckleberry Finn and he had brittle bones. They said, "Who's that funny-looking guy, red-headed guy down there in Drew?" His high school team never won more than they lost. They won 5 and lost 5. I can't believe it myself.
Garo Yefremian conversion. Manning. And the New Orleans 28-7 of the Raiders will be back.
Can you imagine trying to photograph an Olympic gold medal?
2 turnovers. A Stabler interception on a deflection, which led to a New Orleans touchdown. A Stabler fumble, that's one play later resulted in a New Orleans touchdown. And the Saints are out in front 28-7. Gary Premium to kick. Ira Matthews is deep for Oakland along with Larry Brunson. And this will be Larry Brunson from the 4. Brunson taken out of bounds. Close to the 29-yard line. I want to remind you to be sure to join Barbara Walters and her guests Suzanne Summers, Sylvester Stallone, and Stevie Wonder on the Barbara Walters special this Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific 9 p.m. Central. And earlier that evening, a Christmas special. John Denver and the Muppets on Christmas Together, Wednesday night at 8 Eastern and Pacific, 7 Central, both coming your way on ABC.
Yeah, that might be the guy that turned the whole thing around, you know.
Rick Partridge, one of your fine method actors, kept the New Orleans drive alive earlier with a beautiful fake of roughing the punter. 1st and 10, Stabler. Van Egan. Egan for the first down out over the 40-yard line, and we are going to get the 2-minute warning. Kenny Stabler, who can put a lot of points on the scoreboard. It was 2 turnovers that has put Oakland deep in this hole. He has 2 minutes to work with, 3 timeouts, and another half. We'll be back. Henry Childs, his 46th reception of the season, a touchdown. A touchdown from 28 yards out. And what he gives up in size, Childs, in terms of blocking, he certainly makes up for the fact that he can move deep downfield. He's leading all the top tight ends in the NFL, rather the NFC. Thus far in receptions, he can roam way downfield. You saw it a moment ago.
Dick Nolan, White Plains High School, Maryland, the then New York Football Giants.
1st and 10, Oakland, 40-yard line. This is Russell. And Russell out to the 45-yard line. Taken there defensively by Derlin Moore.
Apart from Partridge's Stanislavski-like performance,
Yes.
on that kick penalty, the 2 keys to the game, the hurry-up offense on. Go back to the game, Frank.
2nd and 5. Complete to Branch. Fetterspell takes Branch, but not until he gets a first down at the 49-yard line. Kenny is going to try and run off another play. Seconds ticking away, 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in the half. And he knows if he can put 6 on the scoreboard, they're going to be back in this game. He had to call the play out to Branch, his wide receiver. A little low, intended there for Larry Brunson. Incomplete, stops the clock, 1:04 remaining. Oakland still with their 3 timeouts.
The 2 keys to the game as we take a look at Conrad Dobler, once a great repute, one with St. Louis as the roughest man in the league. But the 2 keys to the game, A, what Davis feared, Oakland's inability to contain the New Orleans offense, and B, the 2 critical turnovers. The interception by Felton, and then the fumble by Stabler, both setting up instant touchdown field position for the Saints.
The 3 wide receivers are in. Martini 89, Brunson 82, Branch 21, 2nd and 10. Stabler with a lot of time, fires it complete. That goes to Casper, and the hurry-up offense still in effect. Inside 1 minute remaining. The ball at the 37.
Nose of that ball is going down a little bit. Might mean that Kenny's throwing a little bit off his back foot. He got hit pretty hard a minute ago.
Kenny has the time. He finds Van Egan. And Van Egan almost breaks the tackle, but he gets to the 25-yard line, and Stabler continues to move the team. Now he calls timeout. He tried to save seconds. 30 seconds remaining, and Oakland has 2 timeouts.
Pittsburgh.
All right, next week, Pittsburgh against Houston. Let's take a look at the Steelers yesterday. First of all, an historic moment. That handoff from Bradshaw to Franco Harris. He rambled 34 yards to put him over 1,000 yards for the 7th time in his career, tying him with the immortal Jim Brown. The Steelers' attack on the day was led by Terry Bradshaw and by the tremendously resourceful receiver, number 88, Lynn Swank. That touchdown, an example. And then earlier, watch this. Bradshaw had thrown the flanker screen. to Lynn Swan, and look at Lynn go. So swift. So the Steelers will travel to Houston to meet the Oilers in the AFC Central Showdown next Monday night.
Well, and Howard, remember we were there a year ago for Miami and Houston. I can't imagine what it's going to be like this Monday night.
Don't forget Alabama and ABC, the Sugar Bowl.
And with Arkansas, this town's going to be colored with red, isn't it? They're going to have red everywhere.
I would never underrate that team of Lou Holtz's.
Story here, 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Ken Stabler has moved the Raiders downfield. They have the football. 1st and 10. The ball at the 25-yard line of the New Orleans Saints. They have 2 timeouts remaining. 30 seconds in which to attempt to get it into the end zone. Branch is in motion. Stabler. And it's complete to Whittington. He could not get out of bounds to stop the clock, however. And another timeout is expended. So Kenny Stabler is down to 1 timeout remaining and 20 seconds. We'll be back in the Superdome in just a moment. The preceding announcement was brought to you by the National Football League and one of the greatest linebackers ever to play this game, Dick Butkus. Back in the Super Bowl. Superdome, rather. The ball at the 19-yard line, 20 seconds. A lot of strategy being discussed on either side of the field. Martini and Branch, 2 wide receivers. Stabler drops the football again. He could have been in the arms of the defender. Alex Price was in there defensively.
That's as big a play as you'll ever see, because we're down to 14 seconds. If Oakland could get a touchdown, you've got yourself a pretty good shot at coming back to be in the ball game.
And more than that, they had to use the final timeout.
And nobody, it must be said in fairness, uses the clock better than that man, Kenny Stabler. He really is a wizard at it, Don.
He really is. I think if he has one drawback, it's maybe the fact that he's not quite as mobile as some of the other quarterbacks. You see, well, a guy like Bradshaw and Sight, for example, pick up really big games. In a situation where the linebackers fall so far off, I think that's the one handicap Kenny has, is he's just really not a threat to run.
Glad you mentioned Sight. He's been so remarkable.
Yeah, well, he really has. That was a good ball game they had up in Cleveland.
Big Art Modell is taking this all very calmly and quietly.
I don't think
he never gets excited.
No, he wouldn't get excited at all. Going to have a good game next week, boy. I guarantee you that when that Houston bunch welcomes the Pittsburgh Steelers down there, that's going to be a lot of fun.
Boy, it was wild down there a year ago when Miami rolled in. What a show Campbell put on that night, as did Bob Greasy. 14 seconds and a half. 3rd down and 12. Stabler hangs it in the end zone. A flag goes down. Defensively, back there was Eric Felton, along with Ralph McGill.
Now that's it.
Against New Orleans. 9 seconds on the clock. It'll go to the 1-yard line, 1st and goal.
Now what do you do? Do you throw?
Well,
defensive pass interference in the end zone. Number 20 on the defense. Be a 1st down on the 1-yard line. 1st and goal on the 1.
Eric Felton, the man who got New Orleans started with an interception, guilty of the call. Now keep in mind, Oakland does not have a timeout.
I don't think you can afford to
9 seconds. You can't run. You can throw twice, but you can't run unless you make it.
Well, that's true.
Play action. Casper misses. Clock to stop with 4 seconds. Now your decision. You're down 28-7. Do you get a sure 3 points? Well, maybe a sure, because Oakland remembers reach against Kansas City.
That's right. That's exactly. You go for it. You got to go for it.
I think this again is a place where if you have the rollout quarterback, you do have the added dimension down there in a situation like this with no timeouts, where he can roll to the outside. And Kenny might be able to do that. I don't know that they can do that kind of play, but I haven't seen him do it in a long time.
This will be an interesting call.
It's your last play anyway. You can run.
You can give it to Van Egan, perhaps.
That's right.
Whittington gets the call, gets the touchdown.
All right.
We've got a new ball game.
That was well handled.
That was fun.
The last play anyway you could run.
They actually even switched everybody up and go off the right side this time. You see Van Egan lead it, and Arthur Whittington comes in, and he's going for the strike.
And Kenny Stabler, if you've been watching this game closely, he had 2 minutes and 18 seconds to work with. He got a big help from the interference call in the end zone, but he moved this Oakland football team down the field using all 3 timeouts in 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Again, the big plus, of course, the defensive call against Eric Felton in the end zone. Jim Breach. They had used, well, they not used too much time.
Encroachment defense, number 60.
Well, why not?
I wonder if he's up there trying to slap that ball. Sometimes he'll get in front of the center and try to slap the ball a little bit right before the guy snaps it.
2 weeks ago, as we mentioned before, Breach, with just a few seconds, couple of seconds on the clock against Kansas City, had a chance to tie that game up and missed a field goal from just about this range. Nobody feels worse about it. And one of the great things we saw, we watched that game on television, Kenny Stabler walked out on the field, put his arm around Breach, said, forget it.
He didn't mean it, though.
28-14. The Saints over the Raiders, but the Raiders battling back in the closing minutes of the first half. Stay with us. Halftime highlights coming your way. We're going to go now to Washington, ABC News, and Frank Reynolds for a late-breaking news story. Here, tragic report from Frank Reynolds, ABC News, Washington. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Datsun, who invites you to test drive the all-new 200 SX Sport Coupe. It'll drive you like you have never been driven. That's your Datsun dealer now. We'll be ready for the second half kickoff after a word from our local stations. New Orleans 28, Oakland 14. We'll be back. The Saints and the Raiders have taken the field once again. As we are moments away from the beginning of the second half, we look at the statistics. New Orleans, who piled up at one point a club record 28 points in one quarter, 28 unanswered points. They did it with a couple of turnovers on the part of the Oakland Raiders, a deflected pass that was intercepted, and a fumble by Stabler, both leading to New Orleans touchdowns. At the beginning of the ball game, New Orleans had marched the length of the field, looked like they were going to control it. They had talked about ball control. They did just that. New Orleans settled down. They came right back and marched off a touchdown drive of their own that took over 6 minutes. And then it was all New Orleans until the final 2 minutes and 18 seconds when Kenny Stabler took his team from the 21-yard line the length of the field. He had a lot of help from a defensive infraction by Eric Felton in the end zone. The story 28-14, but it's far from over.
The story, Chuck Muncie among others. Al Davis said today, the one man I fear is Muncie. He just told me our defense isn't worth a darn. I'm disgusted. Didn't mince words about it.
That's Dick Stanfield, one of the all-time great players that ever played. He coached for Dick Nolan out in San Francisco, and of course he was the one holdover after Stram was fired that Dick kept. Great professional player at Detroit and Washington. Gary Yepremian will kick off for New Orleans. Ira Matthews is 43. To your left, he's back there with Todd Christensen. But it will be Matthews from his 7-yard line. And Matthews, it's New Orleans out to the 33-yard line, close to the 34, where we anticipate a offense that will be comprised of a 2 tight end offense. Again, you're looking at the import to this game for New Orleans. They need a win tonight to move back into a tie with the Los Angeles Rams, who won in overtime over Minnesota yesterday. New Orleans next week will play San Diego here. Their final game of the year will be in the Los Angeles Coliseum. And for Oakland, they have the same record, but they are all but mathematically out of any potential playoff possibility. Oakland with a 1st and 10, and Arthur Whittington gets the call first, out over the 35, close to the 37. Ken Bordelon made the stop there for New Orleans.
In theory, Oakland could still make the playoffs. Realistically, even if they win tonight, it's not likely. But apparently Oakland's going to go right back to its original game plan, which is encouraging from the point of view of competitive game now.
Smart thing to do, I think, too, Howard, because they came in the first series of downs they had. Ben, they moved it right down. They did everything they wanted to.
Branch was the starting flanker. 2nd down 6. Stabler to the air. A lot of time. Incomplete. Intended there for Casper.
Oh, that's
Hughes defensively along with Fettersfield. They were right in the middle of that pattern.
I think that's a good example of how you can, you're limited what types of patterns you can run with that 2 tight end offense. They really are not in a position to do a great deal more than to do crossing type patterns. You saw Chester come over. The pass was thrown late, and so therefore Chester had time to get over really in front and bring his defensive people over in front of Casper.
But that's why you have to like Fettersfield. He has such tremendous range back there. He's going to be very hard to get out of there, even by Bordelon, whom they're so high on.
3rd down 6. Stabler again with the time, and it's almost picked off.
Oh, that really was almost picked off.
Tom Myers almost, and he might have turned that into 6 had he been able to hold on.
He probably would have. He turned 1 into 6 this year. Look at it again, Don.
Yeah, really, the Saints are tied, well, we're coming into this game tied with the Redskins for most interceptions at 22. Kind of unusual that every defensive back and every linebacker has an interception this year. This is the guy that has had 6 so far.
Tarkenton won't forget Myers. He intercepted 1 on Fran in the end zone last year, ran it back in the opening game more than 100 yards for a touchdown, and New Orleans won the game.
Pitch Monty awaits the punt of Ray Guy. This time Guy turns it over, gets the nose down. Monty takes it at the 12. Beautiful punt by Guy. And hustling down there was Rufus Bess. 50-yard punt by Ray Guy, who had one earlier off the side of his foot and was way below his average, which was 3rd in the NFL coming into tonight's play.
There are a lot of weekly cliches ringed in this game, but that last Oakland series was important because they wanted to establish something immediately, get a score on the board, and really get back into this game. They couldn't do it.
That's an indication that what you're talking about, Oakland has not been able to stop New Orleans either. We saw Oakland do it the first series, but they've only stopped the Saints 1 drive. That was their first.
1st and 10, the Saints, their own 25-yard line. They have a 28-14 lead. Their first possession here in the 3rd quarter. Ike Harris in motion, the handoff to Chuck Muncy. And Muncy slips out of the grasp of Rod Martin, but he's taken out of bounds after a gain of a yard and a half.
Frank, I don't want to depart the storyline, but a guy came in to say hello to the 3 of us who I think deserves mention. One of the best defensive ends you ever saw. Rich Jackson of Denver, now teaching here in New Orleans. He just wanted to come up and say hello. And it's nice to see a guy so valuable to the community who has been such a great player.
2nd down, 8. And he hangs it up. Galbraith. And Ted Hendricks defensively, again for Oakland. They were trying to cover Galbraith with the linebacker. That's a very difficult thing to do. He's a gifted receiver with a lot of speed.
Frank, it's one of those patterns that you really just hope you can complete in practice because it was an out and go. You see Hendricks had him to the outside. The ball was thrown before Galbraith made his move, and he was behind Hendricks by a good 3 or 4 yards.
They talk about touch in quarterbacks.
That was nice
just laid up there.
Nice touch. Really was.
Beat one of the best linebackers around for so many years, Ted Hendricks.
The 1st down for New Orleans inside the 43-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Play action by Archie Manning. Looking for Ike Harris. He was covered, so Manning does what he does so well, runs with the football. He doesn't do it as often as he did when he came up a few years ago, but he gets good yardage. Give him 6, it'll be 2nd down and 4.
But that's the mobility Don Meredith has been talking about.
You know, yeah, I got a funny feeling that time that something must have gone wrong back there because he didn't waste much time to move. You know what I mean? Hi, Mom, please send money.
The playoff to
he was looking deep to Ike Harris, and Lester Hayes was all over Harris.
Is that what it was? Because he just moved so quickly. He moved to the outside and made his run. But he does. You know, Archie is. They're trying to get him not to run. They don't like to see the quarterbacks run, particularly when you see those 2 guys he's got lined up right behind him.
2nd and 4. The ball at the 37-yard line. Muncy in the side handoff. Gets the 1st down. Down to the 31-yard line.
Frank, they had a 4-man line that time, but they still had a guy lined up over the center. Been several names for that type of defense. I don't know really what you call it, overshift. We used to call it a Frisco defense. But they try to, again, I think the center, John Hill, is doing a heck of a job in the middle of that line. They're really high on Sanders also at left guard. They think Robert Wood is potential all-pro. These guys are doing a good job.
Hello, Dick. Remember all the mornings we drove into Yankee Stadium together? You and Landry and Robustelli?
What did he say?
On first down, Manning tries to get the screen to Muncy.
Oh, Pat Toomey is on him.
Offensively, your old teammate, Pat Toomey out there, Donald.
Now, we talked about that once before. He never was my teammate. You guys had me convinced one time that he was, but he really wasn't. But there he is.
Well, he's convinced he was.
Well, maybe so. You know, that one got a little fuzzy that time of your life.
Used to drive in, go to a little coffee shop across the street from the stadium. On arrival, Gifford would always be there with the coffee already in the container, a seeded roll, and butter.
Nothing has changed. You can always count on Frank. By golly, Frank.
Second down, 18. Ball 40-yard line of the Oakland Raiders. Good defensive play. Toomey. Manning. Galbraith. Down inside the 30. Oh, third down and 8.
What a show Galbraith is giving you folks tonight. What a receiver he is.
He is put together. The thighs. His thighs are like 34 inches. Yeah, that's just unbelievable.
5 receptions. Galbraith tonight, 87 yards. Big play, I feel personally, for Manning right here. 28-14, they lead. They could get it in. They would put Oakland in an entirely different situation. Quarterback draw, I believe it was, and Dave Pear was all over Manning.
He sure was. That's exactly what they're trying to do, Frank. They have the middle linebackers out of the middle. They'll try to split those two guys up front. Dave Pear's too big, too strong.
And out comes Rick Partridge, presumably to punt. Had Russell Erxleben, their #1 draft pick, great place kicker from Texas, been available. Of course, he's been out most of the season. They might be tempted to go for a field goal from this range. It's probably out of your Premier's area. Whistle had blown before the ball was snapped. Lester Hayes made a move on Partridge. And Oakland says they want timeout. So we have 11:06 remaining in the third quarter. Fourth down for New Orleans when we return to the Superdome in a moment.
Do you know us? When we flew the first balloon across...
Oakland apparently concerned as to what were the real intentions of the New Orleans Saints. Called timeout. They discussed it, and Partridge remains in the game, punting position. Ira Matthews in just a short safety as he is anticipating Partridge's angle for the corner. And he's hit a beauty.
Oh, man, did he ever.
Which is exactly why Dick knows for that play. Because he doesn't believe that your Premium any longer has the range to have kicked a field goal from there, which is why Shula dropped Garrow and kept the rookie from Oklahoma, Ubi von Schaman.
But it also did raise some questions because you're sitting there on the 32-yard line and you can play a lot of the armchair quarterbacks. You say, well, now, that's why I think Oakland called timeout, because I think they were confused, too. This Partridge, he's got to be a bargain, man. They picked him up for basically nothing.
And look where Stabler is.
Stabler inside his own 3-yard line. Van Egan muscles it out over the 5, close to the 7-yard line for a gain of about 4, where it'll be 2nd and 6. Derek Jensen, rather than Van Egan, carrying the ball, and an injured New Orleans Saint is down.
Price, I believe, Frank.
Alex
Price.
Well, they did what they wanted to do. They just nailed him back in there.
That's exactly right.
Let them have the ball, but they got an awful long way to go, and more than likely, it's going to take them a good while to do that. They haven't just been blowing them away.
Price remains on the artificial turf. We'll be back in a moment. Price appears to be all right. We looked at a replay. It appeared as if he had been by his own teammate, Ken Bordelon.
That's pretty creative.
That certainly is.
At the grade school level.
Second down, 6. Eric Jensen, 31, and Mark Van Eegen. The elephant backfield pair, if you will.
You just won't be a nice guy, will you?
Yeah.
Van Eegen.
All right.
And Van Eegen, close to a first down.
Very pretty piece of work.
Not bad.
No flag thrown on that play.
We will get a measurement as Van Eegen up very close to a first down, out around the 13-yard line. I believe he has it.
Going to be close. Little trivia question for you two guys. Who was the guy that led the AFC in rushing before Earl Campbell came into the league?
Before Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
Led the AFC in rushing.
It's a good question, isn't it?
How about Mark Van Eegen?
You devil, you knew all along, Frank. That's right. That is right.
I got one for you.
All right.
How do you keep a turkey in suspense?
Do you know that one, Howard?
I'll tell you later.
I got a different answer for that one, and now is not the place.
Okay.
First and 10. Jensen to the 17-yard line. Derek Jensen.
Well, if you really want to play trivia, the New Orleans Saints have 3 guys who were the MVP in the Sugar Bowl down here at one time in their collegiate careers.
Archie Manning.
That's one of them.
Second down, 5. Ball at the 18-yard line. Remember, they started from inside their own 3. Van Eegen.
And
20-yard line, and it was Fettersfield.
I told you about Fettersfield. He is
He is good. I'm certainly not putting Fettersfield down at all. I think he's doing a great job and in a real key position in this type of defense. You see, once again, it's very hard to get a guy out to block him. The whole design of the flex is to keep those guards and center off of him and let him go do it. He did a good job about that time. As
I've said before, Kentucky turns out a lot of tough kids.
Yep.
LeMaster of the Eagles, another example. Linebacker.
3rd and 2. Stabler with play action. Picked off. Borderline. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Kenny knows. Under terrible pressure, he released the ball when he shouldn't have.
He got hit when he did it, too.
Ken Bordelon, who played his collegiate football here at LSU. Second interception this season, and it puts the Saints up another touchdown.
Little play action fake. You'll see coming from the outside, man, they just really put a good one on him. That was Bennett. Barry Bennett got there. Kenny got off very slowly and is walking off the sideline. I think you're right. He tried to force it a little bit. This oftentimes happens. He knows he got to get him there. There's a little pressure. You see him try to move. He's trying to get it away.
Desperation.
Just desperation.
Well, that was a pretty good interception. Bordelon went way up in the air to get it.
Good athlete, Frank. Really a good all-around athlete. He had a bruised knee earlier in the game, was out for a few plays. Obviously, the bruise feels better now.
Yeah, Premian on a very busy night. And New Orleans leads the Raiders 35-14. We have about half the third quarter remaining. We'll be back in a moment. Jim Plunkett, who has not seen much action thus far this year for Oakland. 7 of 15, 1 touchdown and an interception, is warming up on the sideline. You saw Stabler shake it up. And we don't know whom we'll see at quarterback at this moment for Oakland. Gary Premian set to kick. Hiram Matthews takes it at the 8-yard line.
Got some room over there.
And Matthews out to the 38-yard line. Good return by Matthews.
Kenny's coming back.
Stabler back into the ball game. Tell you quickly, tonight and every night, as long as the situation in Iran remains critical, ABC News will present a special report. And they'll do it every night after your local late news ABC News will keep you up to date on the Iranian situation and all the news weeknights on the World News Tonight.
It's interesting. Plunkett came in, went back out.
Van Egan and Whittington, the setbacks now. Van Egan gets the call, and Van Egan runs into a peck of trouble in the form of Don Reese. Big number 74, Derland Moore. Line of scrimmage, that's it, 2nd and 10.
There are a number of things at play here tonight. A, New Orleans' quest for a playoff berth. B, the fans, for the first time after so many long years, seeing that they have a fine football franchise and team in this city. And C, it's the NFC against the AFC. More on that in a moment.
2nd down long. Stabler again with time. Hits Branch. Branch has the first down at the 49-yard line of New Orleans. Eric Felton defensively, but that ball thrown on a line.
Kenny Denlinger of the Washington Post wrote a piece just the other day on the overwhelming superiority of the AFC in interconference competition. He's not the first to have done it. Bill Wallace of the Times did it in New York. But they were 31-11 going into this weekend, the AFC. Atlanta shocked, stunned San Diego, and look at what New Orleans is doing.
On 1st and 10. Casper with a leaping catch for another first down. Close to the 38-yard line. Fettersfield there defensively, along with Eric Felton.
I get the feeling, Frank, that what they're really doing is they're trying to protect against the defense. We saw this kind of openness by the receivers in the first series of downs. Actually, that's Fettersfield pretty close to Casper in there, but the secondary guys are really getting deep. They don't want him to hit them quick with a bomb. Get back in there. You know, another thing about Oakland, they don't play very well on the road. They've only won one game this year. They beat Denver on the road. The rest of them they've lost.
That's true, and they have never been a good team, as I noted at the start of the game, on artificial turf.
Stabler peering over intently. They marked the ball to the 39-yard line. Is inches short of a first down, so it'll be 2nd and inches.
But realistically, 3 Stabler turnovers, the intercept by Felton, intercept by Bordelon, and then the fumble, and that's the margin of difference. 3 New Orleans touchdowns resulted. So it remains essentially a game of mistakes.
That little punt that they tried on the 32-yard line looks good right now, too.
It really does.
Yeah.
But I still think Garrow can kick 40 yards.
2nd and inches. Van Egan, huge gaping hole, and Van Egan down to the 29-yard line. Derland Moore defensively for New Orleans, along with Tom Myers.
I think, Gifford, we should congratulate, in effect, a colleague of yours, a man at University of Southern California, Mr. Charles White, on winning the Heisman Trophy today. What a year he's had.
He had a great year, and congratulate him, frankly, for surviving it. Carrying the ball some 30 times. Also, congratulations to another great athlete, Billy Sims, who was 2nd in the balloting. On 1st and 10, and Branch does not hold on deep.
He had
Hit
it
there by Clarence Chapman. And I'll tell you, Chapman, he has put some poundage on out there tonight.
But again, Cliff had it. Look at it isolated, Dandy.
Well, you know, once again, Howard, look, you don't see anybody. He's got man coverage. And that was just a real good close by Chapman. He saw the ball was thrown, put his shoulder down, and drove through the receiver. Cliff just couldn't hold on to it.
2nd down, 10. 6:08 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith.
About that.
A lot of excitement. The sellout here in the Superdome in New Orleans. Stabler over the middle to Casper.
Fettersfield again.
All right, they're in there.
They'll mark that all the way back up to the 23-yard line for a gain of about 5. It'll be 3rd and 5. As Fettersfield, who really, I think he's played super for the last 7 years, but under Dick Nolan's use of the flex, which is so similar to the Dallas Cowboys and Tom Landry's flex, well, you keep that middle linebacker fairly free.
He really does love it, Frank. That's
keep
what
the guys off him, and he must enjoy it.
I remember when Tom set up the 4-3 defense and kept a fella named Huff fairly free. Made him a superstar.
He probably did that in the back of the car when you're driving into work.
Exactly right.
3rd and 5. Oh, and a pass that should have been caught by Booker Russell.
And you add insult to injury, just knock him down after it's all over. You know, you guys
Stabler also went down.
Yeah. That was a little tough. That was Derek Ramsey, number 84 over there. Wide open, Kenny kind of just bangs it in there, hit him right in the bad spot. Didn't catch it with his hands, let it go on through to his stomach.
Had the first down.
So on 4th down and down 35-14, Oakland leaves the offensive unit on. Grant split to the left. Casper lined up in a short wingback. Raymond Tester's the tight end.
He's got him open. Come on now, Kenny, right there.
Casper has the first down at the 15.
He moved out of that pocket a little bit, had to. They had him pretty well covered on the initial timing of that pattern. Kenny moved a little bit to the outside. You'll see how Dave Casper moves around on the other side, just keeps running. And he picked him up the first down. That was a big 4th down. Setterfield, Frank, you were talking about, he's reading it now, dropping back into the other side. He sees Casper coming across. Really not too effective. If you can throw in between those linebackers, that's what you try to get the quarterback to do. Don't try to throw that thing hard right by him.
Casper's 6th reception of the night, 48 of the season on 1st and 10. Stabler wants Branch.
Oh, good.
Good defensive play back there.
Hey, that man made up.
Clarence Chapman again.
That kid is having some night.
Great recovery because they had him beat. Branch went down, ran a little zig-out route. Chapman goes to the inside. You're not going to see the pattern that much, but again, Kenny had some time to throw. But look at him close right here. Went into that outside arm. Didn't bump into him, knock it away.
I'll tell you, that's a good play by Chapman because Cliff Branch had put a strong move to the inside. Chapman took it and then was still able to recover. 2nd and 10. Top of your screen. Again, it's Branch. Branch on a little delay underneath. Chapman misses the tackle, but he sends Branch spinning down to about the 8-yard line. We're going to be 3rd and 4.
It's a broad gap now, 21 points, but you've got to admit, folks, there's no quitting Oakland and no quitting Stabler.
No, they can have a lot of things happen, as they say. Ed Beard, the linebacker coach that Dick Nola brought with him from San Francisco 49ers there on the sideline.
A lot of his cronies around him. Eddie Hughes, whom he played with the Giants.
Yep, he's married to his sister.
He's his offensive coordinator.
Paul Wiggins is a good one, too, as they drive home.
Whittington, he got down low, and I don't think they even could see him.
Oh, that's right. He had his nose to the ground.
He just was scooting along. You know, Arthur Whittington was named to the SMU's all-decade team. Are you ready for that? From 1970-79. But he made it as a kickoff return guy. He couldn't beat out Alvin Maxson and Morris, quarterback.
Did you make the all-decade team of the 60s?
I made it in Mount Vernon in the 50s. I was big in Mount Vernon.
Whittington went off limping slightly. He had missed 7 weeks earlier this year with a sore ankle. 1st and goal, Oakland. Van Egan, touchdown, Oakland.
Looked pretty easy. All right.
I like that young man, Tom Flores.
He is a good
composed guy. Yeah. He keeps control of himself.
He has, as far as the records go, he threw for 407 yards one time as a quarterback for these Oakland Raiders, and Kenny Stabler has yet to match that particular yardage production. 2nd on the all-time list, so he's a good quarterback for him. Stepped in, and it's really kind of an unusual situation. Out there, they're building, transition period. And tough one, but I think he's held his composure very well.
Gimbrich for the conversion. And Oakland draws closer. Within 2 touchdowns with 3:01 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 35-21, the Saints.
Like it or not.
With 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Oakland to kick off. New Orleans, perhaps a little prematurely, anticipating an onside kick. 2 men deep, 9 men up close. Breach hits it. Rich Monty from the 5-yard line. And Monty out to the 27-yard line. Derek Jensen down there defensively for Oakland. Marking at the 28. It'll be 1st and 10 for the New Orleans Saints, who had better not get too comfortable with their 2-touchdown lead.
You're right. This is like a prize fight. They have to reestablish now their offense.
I think that your analogy of prize fight's quite good. I'm somewhat partial to quarterbacks, but I think Stabler had a good chance if he wanted to stay on the canvas. After his interception, when he was hurt slightly, we saw Plunkett warm up. Plunkett even thought he was going to play. Somebody to start. They look out there. Stabler's back in there and takes him down and scores.
Chandler split to the left. The motion man, Ike Harris. Archie Manning, I believe, might have missed a handoff.
I think he did, Frank.
And nevertheless, he takes it out to the 30-yard line for a gain of about 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Broken play, and he made it work.
Just trying to get a quick handout in there. And let's see what happened. I believe he was going to miss that handoff. Going to be a fumble, and luckily he didn't. You see Galbraith come back to pick up the fumble. Archie says, wait a minute, I'm going to slide in here safe. Going to pick me up about 5 or 6, maybe 7, and try it again.
Did a very heady thing. He knew where the block was, turned right behind it, got good yardage.
Yeah, you got to get the heads together.
It's either heady or out of stark terror. Muncie.
Whoa.
Oh, good block by the G-man, Emmanuel Sanders, and Muncie gets a first down out over the 40-yard line.
The first we've heard of him for a while.
Emmanuel Sanders with a big block for Muncie.
There's a good, what you call a good old boy from Kentucky. Mr. Fettersfield.
The extra.
We were talking about, you got J.T. Taylor, 71 over there. You got some good blocks out in front. That's Henry Childs doing some blocking. And then look at Muncie. He just says, I'm going to come throw 235 pounds at you.
They just can't stop him.
From the Saints' 41-yard line, and behind Ike Harris, incomplete.
Yeah, and Archie knows it. He had him open across the middle in there, and he says, that one was just behind you, Ike. You know, sometimes there's a... That's pretty good. Oh, man.
Bob Uecker is upset.
I've got to meet Bob Uecker one of these days. I don't even know that guy.
You know, as psychiatrists have a field day as to why all these chickens are breaking out all over.
Well, it's which came first, the chicken
I'm not
or the
asking
egg?
for letters or explanation.
No.
Just an observation.
Yeah, that's true.
Everywhere you go. 2nd and 10. Manning. Wanted Childs. He was covered, and Manning's going down. John Matuzak defensively in there for the Raiders.
They had Childs coming across, covered Frank, and they also had Ike Harris covered going deep. So it was good defensive coverage in that secondary. Really basically man-to-man coverage back there, too.
First sack of the night for Archie Manning. Only his 13th of the season.
Things getting interesting. We're still in the 3rd quarter. Very big play for New Orleans.
Oakland adjusts now, anticipating the pass from Archie Manning. 3rd down, 17. The ball marked inside their own 34-yard line. Ike Harris split to the right. Top of your screen is Wes Chandler. Chuck Muncie. And he is pulled down defensively. Rod Martin there for Oakland, and New Orleans will have to turn it over.
Rod, good play by Martin. We saw him on the kind of delayed blitz earlier in the ball game come in and force a bad throw.
You understand the call?
Pardon me?
You understand the call?
Well, I think I think what they're saying is we've got to stop them sometime, and they don't want it to go be on turnover, so they're going to rely on this punter again to kick that thing off. They're not really waiting to change the...
Partridge. Beautiful high punt. Matthews should have made the fair catch, but he had a little help from his pal there, Mike Davis, to save it.
He better be glad Davis is there, because that'd have been another big one, Frank.
Rich Maudie is down there hustling for the special unit team for the New Orleans Saints to get to Hiram Matthews. Here it is again. Little chancy.
Maudie is the guy that's the leader of this group. He's been the headhunter, or whatever you want to call it, on their special teams for a couple of years. He set a record a year ago for tackles on special teams for 27 unassisted tackles.
What he also does too, Don, every time he makes the tackle, he donates $10 to the American Cancer Society. He's had a personal tragedy in his own life. Every time he runs a punt back or kickoff back, he gives $1 for every yard he gains.
And he asked the folks in this area to match him, and they've raised a lot of money. You're right, Frank. He does a heck of a job.
That was Van Egan. As we get close to the end of the 3rd quarter, Van Egan gets 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 when we come back. It's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll return for the 4th quarter in a moment. Tuesdays are Derek Ramsey 84, Casper 87.
Look at
Whittington,
SMU go.
huge hole. And Whittington out to the 48-yard line, and Oakland first down.
Things grow curiouser and curiouser. Remember our next 2 games. Next Monday night, Pittsburgh at Houston. And then the Monday night after that, for all the marbles in the Western Division AFC, Denver against San Diego.
And I will be there for that one to wrap it up. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to miss that Pittsburgh-Houston game. I'm sorry about that.
Pittsburgh 11-3, Houston 10-4, as they battle for first place in that wild Central Division of the AFC. On 1st and 10, play action by Stabler.
Look at that mobility now. Who said he couldn't run?
That was an early hit by number 27, Ray Brown, on Dave Casper. And the flags are down.
That's exactly right. And in the meantime, Kenny has not gotten off the big bomb tonight. Let's look at this again.
Well, he had to move out of the pocket a little bit. You see again a pattern adjustment by Casper. And Ray Brown comes in, hits him a little early. Ray Brown, the Saints got from Atlanta. He was drafted in the 6th round like in '71. He's played in 123 straight games. Ray Brown, another durable character.
Tony Galbraith. What a night he's had.
Automatic first, the ball at the 45-yard line.
Booker.
For Russell, and Russell is down close to the 35 for another first down. Might be inches short.
Just 2 points. Kenny, who could go for the bomb at any time, has not connected for it tonight. And Wes Chandler, incredibly, has not caught a single pass. Caught one, but was ruled out of bounds.
I was going to bring that up as being very curiouser and curiouser, too, because he has not
one of those
figured in the game, and New Orleans yet has moved the ball very well.
Well, neither team has been able to, neither defensive team has been able to stop the offense. That's how we've got 56 points on the board.
Chester and Ramsey are the 2 tight ends. Whittington gets the call. Nifty little bit of maneuvering there to get down to the 31-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be second down, or rather that's gives them the first down at the 31.
But Frank, Oakland, despite 3 critical mistakes, turnovers that produced 3 quick New Orleans touchdowns, the mistakes having given New Orleans perfect field position in touchdown territory, Oakland has not panicked. They got to credit Tom Flores for that and Kenny Stabler.
Absolutely.
Stabler, Branch, first down inside the 20.
Now that's pretty, isn't it? That's just like automatic. Click, click. There he goes. Stepped out of bounds. Got him a big first down.
I don't think I have ever seen, as we look at Branch isolated, Don.
Well, he's got Eric Felton, who's a second-year guy, and he's certainly seen and heard a lot about Cliff Branch. He's not going to give him a lot of time. He's giving him too much space to run over there. And I would imagine Kenny's fouled that back in there, and he'll come back and use him again. They're playing off of him on those corners pretty far.
Branch out to the right. The first down is at the 17-yard line. Ramsey's intended. He's
all
open.
alone.
How do you like this?
All alone. We got ourselves a good one.
Oh, what a ball game this is turning out to be.
Derek Ramsey, touchdown Stabler.
We emphasize again, Stabler shaken up, apparently out of the game. Plunkett going in for him, and Stabler insisting on going back.
Well, we saw this Oakland Raider team set a scoring record for Monday Night Football when they hit 45 against San Diego on a Thursday night. And this one is not over yet, as they say. Somebody said that before, haven't they? Wide open, though. Again, they're really picking that secondary apart. The defensive teams, there's a reason, I guess, why they're so far down in those standings. Maybe those statistics do mean something.
The tight ends for Oakland have caught well over 100 passes. Ramsey, Casper, and Chester. This is Breach. And Oakland draws within a touchdown and a conversion of tying this game up. And watch Derek Ramsey doing a little Baryshnikov in the end zone to keep the feet in.
Oh, this Derek Ramsey's a guy that we don't hear a lot of, and it's primarily because the guys that they have out there in front of him. But he did a good job. He had that thing in there, and he's certainly had that drill before. How you keep it in there?
12:51 remaining in this game. Don't go away.
Hey, truckers, Dodson's gonna pick.
12:51 remaining in the 4th quarter. Breach will kick deep. Rich Maudie along with Wes Chandler. Drilled along the ground. This is Chandler. or rather Rich Motti, who picked it up, and a flag is down. First time in his career, he came within 56 yards of it a year ago in what many considered a bad season for Stabler, but he got over the 3,000-yard mark for the first time.
Well, as we wait the call on this penalty.
That's just the kind you need to set them.
You mentioned during the break that to you, New Orleans is beginning to play a little bit tentatively, and you said being a young team, they have to learn how to win. I think that's a very valid comment.
Well, I think they do. I was talking to Dick Nolan yesterday. You realize that Dick Nolan in a year and a half, a little over a year and a half, has won more ball games than
Any coach down here. And
Personal foul, flipping on number 27 on the kick return team. First down.
Rebound clipping.
the point is that they've never learned to win. They've always had losing seasons. They've never had a winning season. If they go into the playoffs, they would, and assuming that Tampa does too, that'd be the first team that ever goes from a losing season into the playoff the next year. So they've got to learn those things. And it sounds silly, but it's true.
First and 10. Archie Manning, his own 14-yard line. Tony Galbraith. And Galbraith out over the 15 to the 17, gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. What New Orleans needs now,
they got to move
big
the
play.
ball.
They need a big play to restore the confidence that they had when they took the field tonight.
I said Kenny hadn't thrown the bomb. You can't call a 17-yard touchdown pass a bomb, but while Oakland normally operates in passing in the 14 to 17-yard range, they've not been doing that tonight. Kenny went to it on the 17-yard of the Rams.
Second down. Chandler split to the left. And he will put it in the air. Fires incomplete. Pat Toomey. And Reggie Kinlaw pursuing Manning.
Must remember, if Archie can't pull out a first down on this third down play, you can expect good field position for Oakland and the way Stabler is operating. I was about to say earlier, Giff, I don't think for a given series of plays I ever saw greater quarterbacking than after Benny Malone had scored a touchdown for Miami to put the Dolphins ahead in a playoff game. Stabler engineered that drive that led to the waffle pass caught by Clarence Davis that brought Oakland the victory.
That was a good one.
Four-man front, 3rd and long for New Orleans. 5 defensive backs in. Monty Johnson, lone linebacker for Oakland. Pat Toomey right in the face.
And he got
Archie Manning, and a flag goes down.
And that's what they needed, Frank, is some kind of something to get it going. You don't say needed. What?
Holding, and it's going to go against New Orleans. I think Archie Manning thought, as you did, Don, he was going to get a roughing the passer call.
I did, too. I really thought that's what it was.
Actually, just a super play by Toomey.
Yes, it was. And suddenly, 21 points ahead, New Orleans in deep trouble.
Well, you can kind of sense, if you listen to this crowd, that something's happening. Here's Toomey, number 67, coming in. He throws the ball. It's not a roughing penalty. His motion has started toward the quarterback before, as he was releasing that ball.
You can see why quarterbacks have recurring nightmares.
Yeah.
Rick Partridge to punt on 4th down. Ira Matthews for Oakland, standing at his 45-yard line. Not a good kick. And it goes out of bounds about the 43-yard line. So Oakland, down by a touchdown, will have good field position as Stabler is hot. Kenny Stabler to the fat one. His head coach, Tom Flores, a former Oakland Raider quarterback, moves out to the huddle, and you sense that the momentum has dramatically changed. Stabler on the night, 23 of 37, 221 yards. But there's been an ebb and flow in this game of momentum, and it's with Oakland at the moment. Van Egan surging over the 45 for a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Obviously, you've heard so many millions of times how important first down is. Obviously, Oakland wanted more than that. But yet, you can see the composure of this, the most consistently winning team in pro football over the last 10 years.
Second down, 8. Stabler flooding his backs left. trying to get single coverage, jumps it off to Whittington. Whittington out of bounds.
Good job by Eric Feldman that time. He had him covered. You saw him try to strip the ball away, which he did. Then he says, well, maybe they think he caught it, and there's a fumble. I'll just pick it up.
That's true.
So it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Whittington has a tendency to catch the football and then when hit, give it up. I think that may be said off tonight's evidence.
Some pretty sophisticated football fans here in New Orleans. They see their special pass defensive unit come on the field. They start to cheer. They know this is a big play for New Orleans. They're on their feet.
That's a big sack by Ron
Reese. They couldn't get him out of there. If we get a look at that again, you'll see that the blocker could not get him out of there.
Well, you're coming over on the top of your screen. You see they're working on him. That's Art Shell, and he just got a little more speed than Art. Came right around. And that is something. That put him back in there. 3rd down and big.
You push Art Shell out of the way that way, you are doing some kind of job, to use that old cliche.
Neutralized his strength and his speed got around him.
Ray Guy, this is Rich Money for New Orleans. That is 11-yard line.
Ray Guy almost slipped down.
Good kick,
Gets it to the 20-yard line. Down there to cover Rufus Bess. And Ray Guy appears to have injured something. Limping off. We'll be back.
When you shoot a lot of pulling bars, you want to stay fast and loose. And you don't want to get filled up. That's what.
It appears to me that Ray Guy just messed up his rhythm a little bit. The stride, you'll see right there, goes down in pain. You don't know. I thought he slipped when I saw him kick the ball, but basically it looked like to me, you see him on the sideline. Don't know what happened, but it was not his usual stride and the fluid that motions that he usually kicks with. So 1st down on the 20, Frank.
New Orleans, and they need desperately to get something happening offensively. Their defense has risen to the occasion. This is Chuck Muncie, and he can make it happen rather fast.
He really can. Didn't look like he was going to get anything there. He got almost 6. And the Saints must reestablish offensive drive here for their sake. This is only their 4th possession, Frank, in the 2nd half.
Muncie gets it out to the 25. The word on Guy is slight twist of the ankle. As you can see, he did not have a trainer working with him. We expect him to be back if he's needed. 2nd and 5. Ike Harris in motion. The reverse. Oh! And Reggie Kinlaw just fell right into it more than anything else.
He really did, Frank. They had the wrong play for that defense. There was, well, you don't want Ike Harris hurt.
Reggie Kinlaw collided with him head on. He was going for the passer, Archie Manning, and he just ran into Ike Harris. Let's look. Well, he sees it.
Yeah, I would say that Dobler probably missed an assignment there, too. You saw Dobler blocking down on the middle guy.
Oh.
Whoa, that's me.
I hate that. Ike Harris, who came for the Cardinals a year ago, and that was he really was twisted under Kinlaw there. I remind you, ABC Sports this Saturday. NCAA college football live, 1:30 Eastern Time. Division II championship, Youngstown State versus Delaware. Division I AA semifinals, Lehigh versus Murray State. The University of Nevada at Reno versus Eastern Kentucky. Also ABC's Wide World of Sports, 5 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, 4 o'clock Central. World Cup Boxing, World Gymnastics Championships, all over most of these ABC stations.
As we look at the mascot for the Saints, who's obviously enjoying something, I must tell you, Frank, the viewers will see a kid named Jackie Beard. They'll see a kid named Tucker, another named Steeples. Kids who are unknown now, the way Sugar Ray Leonard, now a world champion, was unknown in 1976. And Howard Davis and the rest of that great boxing team. America has built, with brilliant coaching, as I said, by Pat Nappy, again the coach in the forthcoming Moscow Olympics, a similar kind of team. they could win many gold medals. You'll enjoy the show.
Ike Harris being taken from the field. 3rd down and 11. They marked the ball where Kinlaw and Harris collided on progress. Manning, Galbraith, first down.
Wow.
Out to the 33-yard line. Charles Phillips defensively, but Manning right on target to the sure-handed Galbraith.
Got to give him a lot of credit there, because that, to me, was a crucial one. You can also sense it in this stadium. The crowd was just silent. 3rd down and 11, maybe 12. Archie comes back, gets fairly good protection. Big Phil Yaw's coming right there at him, or Matuzak, I guess it was. Calmly hit Galbraith. This guy is a heck of a all-around purpose back.
He's a remarkable receiver. For a back coming out of the backfield, just remarkable. Except for that one brilliant touchdown catch by Henry Childs. The key receptions tonight have been made by Galbraith.
Monty in the ball game, a wide receiver, but the handoff goes to Muncie.
Couldn't turn the corner.
Muncie right at the line of scrimmage.
Nobody's perfect.
That's right. They had a good game if they could have. They stacked up again. Rod Martin's playing a good game. He's an exceptionally good athlete. Those linebacker corps for the Oakland Raiders are all really good. We've, through the years, have mentioned all of them a number of times. With Rod Martin, Villapiano, Johnson, got a good group in there.
Hendricks.
Yep, and don't forget the old Crane.
2nd and 10.
Oops.
Muncie. Ball slightly behind him. He could not hold on. Rod Martin there covering. And while Ike Harris is on the bench, he limped off the field with assistance. We have Rich Monty in at wide receiver, who only has 2 receptions on the year. This Ike Harris had 3 super years with the Cardinals before coming to the Saints last year along with Conrad Dobler.
So Archie faces another critical 3rd down. But should they fail to make the 1st down, this time when they punt, Oakland won't have that sweet field position they had earlier.
Wes Chandler still without a reception for New Orleans. Intended for
They do now.
Muncie.
All right, what an
Picked off.
interception.
Picked off by Rufus Bess, a rookie free agent
From South Carolina State. How they can produce them at that school.
Well, wait a minute. Now, somebody missed something over here on the right side. You see, there's a lot of pressure coming over there. On the left side, the ball was thrown late, trying to force the ball. Good coverage by Best. Muncie's out there on the pattern. Well, there you go. What kind of field position they have now?
So
Perfect.
nice. 44-yard line. Stabler with the hot hand.
That broke Archie's interception string, or lack of interceptions.
Whittington piled up defensively. Again, it's Don Reese. He's playing a whale of a game tonight. A gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Remember on their last series, when again they had good field position, though not quite as good as now, Stabler called basically the same play, and he got himself in a hole. Now, quickly, with only a yard, he's in a hole. 7:25 remaining.
Second down, 9 for Stabler. Inside handoff, Whittington gets a block from Booker Russell and moves down to the 38-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 4, up into there by Alex Price.
What would you do here, Dandy?
Well, I think really right now, in this situation, he's in a zone where he can run twice if he wants to.
He's got 4th down territory.
Yeah, he's got a lot of opportunities to do things out there. Considering that the Saints really are the weakest team against the run, I don't think he'd be bad by running Van Egan a couple of times.
Seesaw battle. The Saints up by 7 points. At one point, they were up by 21 before the end of the 1st half, and Russell gets the 1st down, down to about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, and if Van Egan's not in there, give it to Russell. Yeah, Booker, either one of them. They'll take it. Big back right there, Booker Russell.
Archie Manning knew that he was late with that last pass that was picked off by Rufus Bess.
That's an interesting graphic.
Well, a lot of it goes back to they've only trapped him 12 times coming to this ball game tonight. A lot of things really figure into that interception deal.
Stabler floods his backs to the right, and then goes out to Whittington, and it's deflected.
What a nifty play by Mr. Grooms.
It was because Pat Hughes was a little bit off, a little bit further off from Whittington than he wanted to be. He had about 10 yards in between him. So it was a good shot. And if he had gotten this one out there, we haven't heard of Lois coming in there tonight for the quarterback traps. We mentioned earlier he leads the league, leads the team in those.
6:02 to play.
Ball at the 31-yard line, 2nd and 10. Branch, who did not start tonight, has been one of Stabler's key receivers. He's caught 5 for 53. Casper has caught 6. Stabler.
Oh, he threw a bad pass.
He threw a bad pass. Casper was open.
He really did, Frank. That ball just nosedived on it. Bounced out in front. He also had Booker Russell open down the middle on a delay route coming out. He had plenty of time to throw. That one was just not thrown well.
3rd down 10.
It's not the critic, it's the man in the arena.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I've thrown them just like that.
I know. That's what I meant.
That's it. Intercept.
Branch. And almost picked off in the end zone by Chapman.
Give Branch credit for preventing that one because Chapman had it. Not a very well thrown ball, thrown very early, very deep, and really pretty good coverage. You see, Chapman has got him all the way there. Branch recognizes that, comes in and changes from an offensive receiver to a defensive back and strips him of the ball.
And on 4th down, Jim Breach comes out, 13 of 20 on the season. His long field goal, 40 yards. The holder is Dave Hum. He's the quarterback.
That's what you got to watch.
The attempt was 49.
Well,
wide to the right. And for New Orleans, possession at the 31-yard line. The line of scrimmage.
5:46 left. If New Orleans can mount any kind of drive, that could do it.
Well, it's true. You know, we've been, I think, justly giving Kenny a lot of praise tonight, but really on the last 2 passes were not good passes. He had an open receiver, in my opinion, with Casper, and he threw to one that was covered when he tried to hit Branch. So those were 2 critical plays.
Brooks Monty remains a wide receiver. Sprained knee was the word on Ike Harris. Muncie, he's pounded by Kinlaw. Reggie Kinlaw, the rookie from Oklahoma, 12th round draft pick that's turned into a surprisingly fine, good football player for Oakland. Comes in when they want to get into their 4-3 defense, get more of a pass pressure.
Archie has some decision-making to do.
That's true. They've got basically a fairly, look at that graphic right there, the first half and the second half. You can see whose ball game it was, when and where.
2nd down, 9. Galbraith. And Tony gets out over the 35 to the 36. Again, 3.5 yards. It'll be 3rd down 5.
4:55 left, counting down.
It's one of those offensive plays you call and kind of hope that it goes well, because it was very safe. They're trying to be conservative, but not run the middle of the line, so it's just a little quick flare pass out to Galbraith. Say, gosh, I hope somebody misses a tackle and he can pick us up a 1st down. Not really a play with a great deal of authority.
That was Dave Browning who left off for Oakland. John Matuzak, 72, replaces him. There he is, top of your screen, Big John. 3rd and 5. Manning, a lot of time, and Galbraith is open, but he does not hold on with one hand. Rod Martin defensively, but Galbraith was open.
He really was, Frank. It was one of those, it would have been a good pass. Galbraith seems to think he should have caught it. I think, again, it could have been thrown a little bit better. He had fairly good coverage. Once again, I believe that was Rod Martin that was over there.
So very quickly, with 4:21 left, Oakland will get possession. Let's see when.
Lots of time, really not even a factor at this point.
I think it's interesting that New Orleans has not been able to get a first down on these last couple of drives.
Rick Partridge. Ira Matthews can't get to it, and it goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, Oakland. Don't forget, next Monday night, we'll be in the Astrodome in Houston with Pittsburgh and Houston. And then, of course, our final Monday night telecast will determine the Western Division Conference of the AFC. Denver and San Diego. In San Diego.
That's when Dandy visits that superb zoo.
I go every year. I love the San Diego
Zoo. Greatest zoo, I think, in the world.
It really is fun.
1st and 10, Oakland.
They'll play action. Screen.
First down. Tries to get the screen back. It was bobbled, I believe, by Van Egan and taken by Dalby.
I love it. Dalby says there's a football in it. I'm going to catch it.
And the statistical target, Dalby, will go down with one reception.
What is that now? Does that go as a reception?
A curious thing.
Sure, it's a reception. You can take it from a deflection. He couldn't, of course, not handle it with that 50 number. He gets a yard out of it. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Everyone becomes eligible once an eligible receiver touches it.
I'm glad you told me that, because that works. Looks like Michelle's lined up in the backfield.
It's a new rule.
Complete. Cliff Branch, and what a move.
Goodbye.
Look out. Catch him.
Goodbye.
There are no flags down.
Is that wild?
That happened fast. 3:19 still left in the game.
Cliff Branch, who was a 9.3 sprinter in his days at the University of Colorado, when he gets the running room, you can write it off. He can really motor.
Well, it was not anything fancy, just one little outside. Look at that move he put on Eric Felton. Boy.
And what a beautiful block right there. Let's see if we can get that guy's number. The man who threw the block.
Eric Felton is the second-year guy trying to recover, but this is the move right there. No way close. It was Whittington that made that block.
That's right. Arthur Whittington. Now let's see. Breach in the kind of position he was in against Kansas City when he missed this very kick on the field goal that would have tied the game.
Actually, he was closer than this by about a yard. Maybe that threw him off. Right through the middle.
We're tied at 35 with 3:19 remaining in the game. At one point, New Orleans with a 21-point lead. Then Stabler got hot.
Good. Now I can go to bed.
Well, wait a minute. I want to give you your gift while we're alone. It's something just for you.
A washer and dryer.
Now, come on, will you be serious?
Okay.
All right, close your eyes. Merry Christmas.
Well, he used all the field he could use, too.
He's sure getting close to that white line right there, isn't he? And how about that one right there?
Good thing he stayed on his toes.
Yeah.
He got back in.
Okay.
I was talking about the move he put on Felton, which was absolutely brilliant. He knew where Felton was. He didn't even give him an odd inside, and he just totally lost Felton. Breach hits it. This is Wayne Wilson. The rookie from Shepherd gets it out to the 31-yard line. And we're all tied up, 35-35. We want to remind you again, tied it every night as long as the situation in Iran remains. ABC News will present a special report every night after your late local news. And ABC News will keep you up to date on the Iranian situation and all the news weeknights on World News Tonight. So stay with our ABC News team. They're doing a whale of a job.
Now let's see if Archie, Tony, and Chuck can get it back.
And they haven't used Wes Chandler all night. He has not caught a pass. That's their number one guy.
He has 59 coming into tonight's game. Chandler has not caught a ball tonight. Monty in motion. Handoff, Galbraith. Huge hole. And Galbraith, bang, out to the 40-yard line. Quick pickup with 8.5 yards. 2nd down and 1. Pause quickly 5 seconds and allow our stations all along the line to identify themselves.
33 WYTV in Youngstown, Ohio. The best things in life.
And if you were to go back, you might look at the long drive by Kenny Stabler. who had help on a pass interference call in the end zone by Eric Felton, moved the ball with 2:18 left, the length of the field to get Oakland within 14 points. Somebody called a fumble, and this is Mike Davis.
I heard. Oh, no. How about
now
that?
This is Ted Hendricks.
I don't believe this.
Somebody was calling fumble. You saw the ball come out of the hands of Muncie. Coming up with it was Mike Davis. He got the ball downfield to Hendricks, and Oakland is threatening.
Frank, the fans here are absolutely stunned.
Well, I don't blame him. My gosh, I heard that fumble, and he fumbled is trying to change hands.
And he did it by completely on his own. Nobody even hit him. He
Talk
just
about
handed the ball.
instincts. How about this one as he's going? Oh, that's got to be they got to bring it back, haven't they?
Well, it should have been brought back, but it's being marked at the 13.
Oh, well.
Hendricks made sure, though. Look at Ted. What an incredible football game this has turned out to be. 2 minutes, 21 seconds left.
Tied at 35, and Oakland threatening. Whittington. Fettersfield made the stop, but not until Whittington had moved to the 9. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. First down could be accomplished at the 3-yard line. It's Ted Hendricks, all of his career. Baltimore, then Green Bay, now Oakland. He's always been where the football was. Interceptions, fumble recoveries. A moment ago, he was there, Johnny on the spot. Pretty the lateral from Mike Davis.
He has 19 block kicks in his career, which is an NFL record with points after touchdown, field goals, and punts.
Pretty tough moment for Dick Nolan. You saw his face trying to hold himself together.
Well, we're in a very similar situation to the Rams and the Vikings yesterday, except it looks that the Raiders are in a much better position.
If they're not, you've got a scoop.
That's right, before you get into your overtime.
70 points scored in this game thus far. The most number of points ever scored on Monday Night Football. 1977, Dallas 42, the 49ers 35.
That's terrific. Now tell me, who were the other two guys that were the most valuable players in the Sugar Bowl besides Manning?
I told you Archie Manning.
Yeah, that was one. And they all play for Saints. I'll give you one. Tennessee. Oklahoma. Tinker Owens and Bobby Scott.
Tinker Owens.
There you go.
Right.
Tinker Owens and Bobby. Yeah, there you go.
All right, here we go. Looking ahead, each team has 2 timeouts. 2nd down and 7. The ball at the 9-yard line. The setbacks are Derek Jensen, 31, Mark Van Egan, 30. Van Egan, line of scrimmage, surges forward close to the 8-yard line, hit there by Ray Brown, who plays safety like a linebacker.
You think
heading to the 2-minute warning. And there it is. 2 minutes remaining to be played. Tied at 35. Both teams, 2 timeouts. We'll be back in a moment. Stabler. Cliff Branch, touchdown. Cliff Branch was spectacular. He was, well, I won't say bench, but he did not start tonight, but he has been the determining factor for Oakland here in the 2nd half.
He certainly has, and Stabler with him, and what a remarkable comeback. This team that held its poise. I go back to what Dandy said earlier. This team knows how to win. The young New Orleans team must learn how to win.
I do think it's one of those intangibles that sounds really hokey, but you do have to learn how to do it. A good move by Branch, but the ball was drilled right in there between the 2 and the 1. Very crucial 3rd situation, 3rd and 5. And now they've given New Orleans something to really shoot for.
Breach. Relief etched on his face. That's good. And the Raiders have taken the lead for the first time tonight, 42-35.
Coming from the outside, that's working on Clarence Chapman. Into the inside, they just couldn't keep him out of it. The ball was well thrown, a good route, run to the inside.
Far from over, 1:54 remaining. Archie Manning will have a couple of timeouts to work with.
Lester Hayes hugging Cliff Branch. Stabler.
You know, you get the feeling that Stabler, when they brought Branch into this game tonight, said, well, I'm going to get Branch off the hook. He's been a great receiver for me for many years, and sure enough, he's been going to Branch all night long. He's been going to him deep in the end zone. He went to him in the end zone 3 different times.
And Branch has really come through for him.
I think, Frank, you know, when you see that two tight end situation, that's part of it. Branch is, see there by your card, has caught 7 for 126 tonight. That's a heck of a game for any receiver.
Did you see any question about whether Branch got into the end zone or not?
No.
I didn't either. I thought he was in.
Yeah, he's right there.
Now, in the previous one, there might be a question as to whether he went out of bounds, but it's over. Forget it.
Breach. Kicks off. Taken there by Wayne Wilson. And Wayne Wilson gave the crowd a bit of a thrill as it looked like he was going to break it off, but he's dropped it to 30.
There's Cliff. Okay. Give the credit to Arthur on the block. That's what he's doing.
That's right. And that's nice because Arthur didn't throw a good block for him to spring him over there.
Meantime, it's not over yet.
Branch has scored his 48th and 49th career touchdowns tonight. That's rather remarkable because he was only playing in his 8th year.
Watch, he's got 147 left.
And 2 timeouts from his own 30-yard line. Galbraith is being dueled there with number 53, Rod Martin, incomplete.
Archie, except for that one remarkable throw and equally remarkable catch by Henry Childs, hasn't succeeded with the bomb either tonight.
Nobody threw some good balls in the first half. The second half has just been really a mistake-ridden sort of half as you see him mark off 10 more yards against New Orleans. And you don't make mistakes like that. You wonder why, you know, you say that.
Especially when you look back, they scored first.
Holding, number 65. First down.
Robert Woods holding. It'll be first down and 20. That's the story on the clock.
Remember, Frank, they scored first in this half, built their lead up to 21 points, and then Oakland shut them off.
Twice they've led by 21. But Stabler, 4 touchdowns on the night, 3 in this fourth quarter. Manning, Galbraith, incomplete.
I don't really understand those routes. He's sending five guys out. Childs goes deep. He's got Muncie kind of trying to go deep. He must be just trying to work some patterns in it. That was a first down and 20, so maybe he's trying to pick up half of it. But you've got a game breaker on your side. I think that's important. Wes Chandler, we've talked about him a couple of times tonight.
Incredible the way he's been shut off. In the meantime, these fans dreaming of a playoff spot, so elated when they were 21 points ahead, the game seemingly in the bag. In a state of absolute shock, and you've got to feel for them.
Didn't work.
Inside toss to Muncie. That did not fool a whole lot of folks.
Oh, good
hit there by Monty Johnson. After a gain of about 3, it'll be third down and 18.
Assuming that they do lose this game tonight, it puts a great deal of pressure on their game next week against an extremely good team that was upset yesterday.
Will be out for blood because they've got to hang in there with Denver, San Diego.
Absolutely.
And then there's Los Angeles to be met.
They could get by losing one of these two and then face Los Angeles in the final game.
New Orleans, excuse me, New Orleans has called timeout.
The San Diego,
one timeout.
The San Diego game next week, from San Diego's viewpoint, as I have indicated earlier, will not change the net effect of the Denver game for San Diego.
No,
but for San Diego, it's a matter of a great deal of pride and self-respect. That team had come so strongly, had ripped the Steelers 35-7, and to be upset by Atlanta, which has had a difficult year, and especially by an NFC team, they'll be loaded for bad.
Now these guys right now are what you call in trouble. Third down and almost, I'd say 17 or 18 yards to go. So you know they're going to try 2 tries at it, and they may go into the middle again, try to pick up half of it this time and try to hit 2 in a row. If they don't, it's going to be too bad.
Archie wanted a little guidance, moved over to the sidelines, talked with Dick Nolan. I'm sure offensive coordinator Ed Hughes. Third down 18. This is what they decided.
Went too high.
Incomplete, intended for Monty. And now it brings up fourth down with 1:18 on the clock. Oakland with 31 first downs tonight. New Orleans 18, an NFL record there. 38 by Los Angeles against the Giants in 1966.
Got a feel for Dick Nolan, too, who overall has done a really fine coaching job this year.
His record, though, is 7-7.
But in this topsy-turvy league this year, he's not out of it yet. No way.
Just getting closer. And old Flores is using that mathematical equation to say I'm still eligible too, so don't count me out either.
They're thinking about 2 losses, 1 to Kansas City, 1 to the Jets.
1 timeout for New Orleans. They have a 4th down and 18. I'd say rather desperate. Stack over to the left. They'll hang it up very high. Hope for the best.
And the flag goes down.
Incomplete, but again, as Don said, a flag down, line of scrimmage. That's what they call, a big bend down here?
Offside
Oakland, so we'll have another shot. 1:10, 1 timeout.
As Roger Staubach would say, it's a Hail Mary situation.
Well, this 5 yards will help them a little bit because now they can move into more conventional sort of route. They're not trying to pick up 13 yards instead of the 18. That 5 does make a difference.
Offside on the defense, number 90.
You could look to a guy maybe like Childs coming across the middle. It appears that Oakland's going to give them certain things. They're going to try to protect against a big bomb here with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go.
Willie Jones was the eager Oakland Raider, offsides. 4th down, 13, 1:10 remaining. New Orleans with 1 timeout. They stack up Rich Monty, Chuck Muncie, and Wes Chandler to the left. And coming in was number 90, Willie Jones.
The party.
Manning goes down. It's Oakland's football.
They say that all good things must end. Eat your heart out, you Permian. They call it.
Here comes Willie Jones, the rookie from Florida State, getting away from the block of J.T. Taylor. And down goes Manning.
Too much time, though, Frank. He just, that's asking them to hold them out about 5 seconds. It was a little bit too much time. Oakland, in my opinion, just came back this second half and would not be denied. I really think the key was when you saw Kenny Stabler get up off the mat and come back and say, hey, look, this thing is not over. It's got to have an effect on the rest of the guys in that huddle. He put them together. They brought it back.
Especially when he was shaken up, apparently out of the game.
New Orleans can stop at 1 time. Booker Russell gets the call. His job, just hang on to it because they'll be trying to strip it. Russell down to the 17-yard line. New Orleans will use their final timeout. And we can tell you, our executive producer of ABC Sports is Roone Arledge. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football produced by Dennis Lewin and directed by Chet Forty. Our technical director, Bill Morris. Associate director, Rob Finer, who is celebrating his 29th birthday today. Happy birthday.
Tough thing.
Technical manager, Coach Coltrane, our unit manager, Bob Crivelli.
So tough.
And research man, Jerry Klein, who's been thumbing the books over here tonight. Our spotter, Steve Mazika.
So tough for Dick Nolan. He won't sleep tonight.
Well, it was, I think, a tremendous disappointment and letdown for the whole team. As you saw Archie in the beginning of the telecast talk about how much this game meant to them here. They were really all keyed up for it, and really they just didn't quite measure up to the task. And that's basically it. They had opportunities several times to protect the big lead. They didn't know how to do it, and they didn't do it. So they go back to the drawing board. They're 7-7 right now, and the Rams are 1 game up.
I remind you again, immediately following the local news, as we will continue to do here at ABC. ABC News will bring you an update on the Iranian crisis. Stay with us. The guys are doing a tremendous job. Stabler to the knees. They can riffle off 30 seconds here.
Yep. Well, Garrow can't say you sang it too early tonight.
No, and I thought I sang it well, too. I don't know what Garrow's thought. I've only missed 1 time, and that was down in Miami.
Archie Manning looking out on the field. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Stabler, was 26 of 44 for the night, 296 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Came off the mat here in the second half to go 10 of 20 for 149 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, me, Ken Stabler's washed up. He's as good as they come when he's on.
That's it, Dandy.
Yep.
See you in San Diego.
You got it, pal.
Pittsburgh and Houston coming up next Monday night, followed by San Diego and Denver on the final Monday night of ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. And the final score, Oakland 42, New Orleans 35. Be sure to join us next week for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The Pittsburgh Steelers against the Houston Oilers from the Astrodome in Houston, Texas. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. More people fly United to Hawaii than any other airline. This has been a presentation of the leader, ABC Sports, bringing you exclusive coverage when the world comes to America this February for the 1980 Winter Olympics.